And even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. The possibility of that happening is, again, like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like, it shows that there's
always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no end to the prompts. There's no end to what we could roll up.
Now we're going to be officially rolling for superpowers. This is usually the make or break.
Wrong foot. Oh, I had the whole thing ready to. Here we go. Ayo and hello, everyone, and welcome to a whacked out, whimsically wonderful Wednesday, the final Wednesday of the year. Welcome to the end of the year special of Roll for Hero, a segment of the show in which we let the dice dictate what on God's green earth we will be drawing for today. It is me, your ever weird, ever whacked out, ever loving Uncle E, and of course with me today is my big bearded, bald-headed, beautiful man, claimed to be the sexiest man in 1993. You know him, you love him, the big fish in the small pond of indie comics, Mr. Fish.
What is up, everybody? Glad to be here. Yes, Dragon Gaming, congratulations. It is the last episode, but only for the year. We're going to be back because this is the weekly Wednesday show where we come on and let the dice decide what we're going to draw. And I am super excited to be here. I am really looking forward to it. What is up, Deadpool? Good to see you. Man, Kyron keeps calling me, and that is unusual. I don't know what to make of that. I'm going to message Kyron real quick. I'm going to let you talk for a second, and I'm going to see what's going on and make sure everything's okay.
All righty then. So anyways, just so that I can kind of keep on yapping, fill the void of silence, this is going to be, of course, a fun end of the year special. Of course, it is the last Wednesday of the year of our Lord 2025, as tomorrow will be the beginning of a new era, and it's going to be fantastic. But I'm excited because today we kind of planned out a little bit. Again, we try not to plan out as much in terms of like what are we going to be drawing kind of a situation, because usually we just tend to go random on this. So for today's episode, we are going to be rolling up our roguish-like characters for the science fiction universe. We are continuing on our journey into the vast void of space as we are now finding out newer characters as we dive within the stars. We have discovered Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy, cosmic cadets and heroes throughout the known galaxy as they work along with the Cosmic Coalition. And turns out their enemy, the Dark Matter Coalition, run by Lord Decimus and his insectoid-like army that could change size, use telepathy, and of course just be all over evil. But along the journey, we have come across some very unique individuals, like some roguish, shape-shifting Deceptiles, if you will, drawn by TS, yours truly, and of course, Mr. Fish's character being shown a little later on within the show. And of course, speaking of stuff that we ended up drawing, let's actually dive in and let's see what we drew on our Christmas special of Roll for Hero.
Bum, bum, bum.
I know, no fancy little title card. We're trying to be efficient here, people. Alrighty then. So, Mr. Fish, I think it is only fair that you go first because I feel like you went way too crazy on this.
I got, for rolling up my character, I got a military reindeer. And so that was wild. For some reason, I was expecting it to be like military elf or something that I had an idea for. Military space reindeer, I really did not have a good plan for ahead of time. But I think it came out pretty cool. My computer is freaking going crazy over here. Okay. Sorry, my screens are going off and flashing around. Everything is going wild on me. All right, so I got this military space reindeer. I was working on it. I was working my way through it, and I can't remember who it was in the comments that sounded off and asked, were there just 8 reindeer that worked for Santa, 8 of these soldier reindeers? And that spurred me on to the idea, well, no, of course not. There's got to be like whole platoons of these guys, and there's like 8 main captains that, lead the teams. And then that got me thinking about like, the underwater demolitions team and the Air Force and the like, the ground force and all of this stuff. So when it came time to do a cover for this, I came up with Reindeer Games, Ground, Air, Marine Exosuits. And we've got like, the undersea attack dude. We've got the ground troop dude. And I'm envisioning them a lot like the old Centurions toys, where like they can get different armor and weapons and stuff beamed to them in battle when they need it. So they can always like plug in new gear to their uniforms. So dude's got like the big tank guns on the back of him and missile launchers and like these bulldozer claws, and the other guy got his underwater jets and his torpedoes. And then we've got the other guy flying through the air, probably blitzkrieg instead of blitzing, and he's got his rocket launchers and cannons and wings and jets and all that stuff. And that was so much fun to do. I've gotten a lot of compliments on this one. It was a lot.
And
what's up, Brandon?
So also to answer Rodrigo Padilla over here, I'm not fully sure what's going to be public domain. I'll be sure to look into that. But trust me, I actually have a few different series that I'm actually really excited to start up of next year. Just to kind of quickly announce those. All right, I'll announce them after I'm done kind of showing off what I got going on over here. I got Alien Jack Frost, who's a mercenary leader of rogue elves that can fight alongside the Claws Corp, but for a price. Okay, first of all, how dare you come up with something cooler than we ever could? That is not fair.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
freaking epic, dude.
So the list
is cool.
So first of all, Mr. Fish's overall image over here, fantastic. I'm annoyed that this isn't an actual toy or anything of that nature, because this would sell holiday season, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. Nobody asked for.
If only I knew somebody that had a 3D printer that could like print up limited edition action figures, and we could, offer them up to our most loyal of fans. That would be cool. Too bad that's not a thing.
Sir, don't be exposed. How dare you expose a man of my caliber? What's up, everybody? So, of course, and
what's up, Knights of G? Good to see you. We were just talking the other day. I'm glad you made it in.
So glad. Also, what the image, and so Mr. Fish is able to show off his stuff, and I'm going to be showing off mine. I basically drew my rendition. So we both, weirdly enough, rolled military. It was like the Christmas special. We had very, very small, limited lists of like whatever that was. We had like occupations or like type of that the person is, and then we had the characters themselves. So Mr. Fish rolled up a reindeer. I rolled up Mrs. Claus. But I wanted to make mine a little bit different, and I decided to make her like a black Mrs. Claus. I personally have never seen, I've seen black Santa Claus. I've never seen black Mrs. Claus. So I thought that was a very interesting, take on that personally. But she was also a military-based kind of character. So we have, this, more regal, more proper, authoritative looking kind of a Mrs. Claus. She's
like a dress uniform
in her. Well, this is her red variation. Then we have the Arctic blue rendition of this suit, which is the one that I actually very much enjoy. So again,
very toyetic.
So not as toyetic as the freaking reindeer games, in my opinion. But then of course we have this rendition, which I think is interesting. This is like her battle ready kind of suit. Like this is the kind of suit that I expect her to kind of like fight, like command her elves out in the winter wonderlands, if you will, as she takes a laser gun. It's like, all right, move, elves, move. Santa Claus has got to drop the cargo. I did a cyborg elf for my fantasy setting. How dare you? I can't wait to just see all this amazing stuff.
I might have a picture of that one. Let's see.
So this is my rendition of Mrs. Claus. So I basically have 3 different renditions. I have her battle ready outfit, her regal, type of her more regal aesthetic, and then of course her Arctic rendition. But that is aside the point. And not only that, I actually saw this on YouTube post. That is amazing. I love this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that came out really
And
cool.
if you
I was gonna run through all of these. Let me get to the end just to show everything I was able to find so far. And if somebody sent me something and I've lost it, send it to me again
we
so
can,
that I can have it for
and if
sure,
you
and I'll
guys
save
out
it with
there
your
would
name.
love to would want us to show off the amazing art or the character, the hero, the villain, whatever it is that you've created as you're rolling alongside with us, please use the hashtag roll for hero. That's ROLL, the number 4 and HERO. Use that hashtag. So then that way we can get notified and swipe those images. So that way we can show them over here. So that way, we give credit to amazing artists and hopefully continuing the journey of creating art that inspires all and hopefully inspires more. But outside of that, let's take a gander over here. We got, what was it, Scalian?
We've got Scalian by Anthony
Love
Harrington
the action
here.
art on
We
that.
have got Deadpool's Periwinkle. We showed that one earlier. We've got Anthony Harrington Gizmo over here. And I'm saving it under the names that I'm seeing it in on wherever you send it to me. So if it's not the same name over here, I apologize. I can try and fix it if you want me to, but I wanted to make sure that I got the names attached with it. We got Deadpool's hero and villain that he did over
That's when
here.
we did the hero and villain role. I think the first time we did our very first hero villain role. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, these are amazing movies.
Oh,
I can't wait to see what other ones we actually get to really dive into. The
Green Llama public domain redo that he did, that one came out really cool. Let's see, what else have we got? We've got Crazen, the Mad Failure. I love that. Man, check out those eyes. That is awesome.
I'm loving the dynamic posing. I love the fact that you're really diving in and trying to get out of your comfort zone, making your characters or putting your character in dynamic.
Okay, it's Deadpool. There we go. And all right, let me see. And then we've got Ben Art's Waylon Stewart here. That one with the energy control and the knife down there. We've seen that one before. I think we saw that one when it came out. This is his Samantha Claus, which I thought was really cool. Had a whole freaking backstory about how one of the reindeer soldiers went rogue and chopped off her arm, and ended up the elves had to build her a cybernetic arm, and then what was it? Logan Claus, the new Santa Claus, ended up having them build her a whole mech suit to go with it. Is the backstory for me is what had it. And check out the reindeer in the armor, man. That is awesome. May well be a better reindeer head than I did. May look more like reindeer antlers than mine do. But I try to get as close as I could.
am not jealous in any way, shape, or form of the fact that there are people with better ideas than.
And that's a real piece of art on actual paper that you could hand to somebody.
That's
all I can do is show my screen.
That is a one of a kind piece. Cool. Sure, this is shown digitally, but this person has it in their home. That is a one of one.
Yeah.
How
that is really
cool. I
remember seeing. And then these are some of the older ones that they did, because we saw this one on the show earlier. But he did a whole series of these that came out really cool. I think this was when we did the Birds of a Feather. I think is when they came up with this one, and I think it might have been playing off the night and day theme, but had a whole series. Keanu Whitaker Jr. here, and this was Glorper. This is freaking chaos beauty right here. I love all the colors. I love the shading. I love the head turning into a bat wing axe thing. This reminds me of Kevin 11 just having a complete psychotic break is what this reminds me of.
Oh my God.
This has that kind of vibe to me. But I really like that one. And then he did this one. Giada Whitaker is the name of this character. Christopher Guzman. He's got all kinds of great names for the characters. I really dig that. Brielle Watson.
I feel like, wait, hold on. Go back to that other one.
Let's see.
I feel like there's
this one?
I think I can see the inspiration. Personally, I feel like I've only shown you 2 of his videos when he did a crossover Superman and Captain America, but it looks like there's hints of Pop Cross Studios styling over there. Just thought that I had to point that out. He's a really fantastic artist. I just thought I had to point that out. That's really awesome, though. I love there's that connection between the person, the little creature and whatnot. The fact that you even drew that is, again, I'm loving these guys. Keep up the great work. What do we got over here?
Iron Maiden.
I think that's a
Diesel Punk, cyborg android with 4 minor powers, energy projection, body weapons, modern weapons, size changing. Dude, and check out all the freaking details and stuff. That's my thing, is I always had so much trouble. I would draw all the freaking details like in a cyborg to where like it looked like it actually would work, but then that was just chaos to have to draw over and over again. And this one was from Commander Comic. I remember that one. I didn't get a name for the character, but I got that it was from Commander Comic. So there we go. That's a look back at some of the characters that we've had drawn by y'all so far, and hopefully we'll have a lot more before we know it.
We're gonna have like a whole gallery of just nothing but like awesome roll for hero art, and I can't wait for the day that we just get to do a whole episode of just showing off the amazing art that everyone in this community is going to be creating. And speaking of creating art, Mr. Fish, I think it's about time that we've begun the process of what we tend to do here on this show.
And what that is
All right. I'm loving that freaking title. Like I gotta make one of my own, so that way just so I can lighten the load on that. Outside of that, today's episode is going to be interesting. So of course, in episode 1 of this entire season 2, we created Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy, and then on top of that, we created a vast variety of other individuals just so that we can kind of give you a bit of a catch up. So this is Jupiter Jack, his friend Meteor Mandy, cosmic heroes and whatnot. Then we ended up creating some sleazy individuals, some Deceptiles, if you will. And not only that, came up with the villains. This is more or less the henchmen that I think would be more or less kind of akin to following under Lord Dominus. This,
destroyer of worlds.
Eyeless villains that only see darkness in any way. I don't know. This was like fantastic. And so, of course, we had our holiday edition. And now we're going to be diving in and we're going to be creating our lovable or, annoying, roguish characters within the world of this science fiction universe. So the entire list has been composed by Mr. Fish, and I can't wait to get rolling. So I think it's enough of me talking. So how about we actually get rolling? And of course, before we continue any further, nieces, nephews, those in between, grab your writing utensil, get something to draw on, and of course, let's get rolling.
All right. And we're going to roll our own characters this time. So we're going to get our own individual thing. Feel free to roll up your own or do one of ours. That's perfectly fine. I got number 4, a bounty hunter.
And
I've never drawn a bounty hunter before.
Ooh. I got a shopkeeper.
See, I actually, that's what I wanted to get. Was a shopkeeper, because I think that would be fun to have that like NPC character that you could go to, like hey, I know a guy, that guy. I really liked that. I wanted to have that kind of character. But trust
me, kind of like when we created our villains, you had an idea for what you wanted to do, but just like what T.S. Lucas said, this isn't pick a hero. It's
this is roll for hero. So we got to let the dice decide. Okay, now our race, which isn't so much race, it's what we are in this futuristic world.
And
so roll 1d.
We're probably going to have to roll many more dice.
Okay, got a 4. So I am a robot. Okay.
And another 5. What the heck?
That is an alien. All right. That gives us a good reason to go down the alien tables, which I had too much fun doing.
Which honestly, I think we probably might have to go off of your list because mine were a bit too whacked out.
I kept it a little bit. You had a lot of options, which is cool, but it's also a lot of options. It's a lot to go through. I boil mine down to just a handful. So this is like the stance of our alien, like how he carries himself in the world.
Okay.
Animal would be like completely unevolved, like you walk around like a dog, you look like a dog, whatever alien you are, you look like that version of it. And then quadrupedal would be you're still basically on all fours.
Okay.
Bipedal would unevolved looks is you're getting more and more human. You're more like Ninja Turtle-ish would be semi-evolved looks. Somewhere
Like
between
you
there
said,
and turtle would be unevolved. Then there's humanoid. Then there's hyper-evolved. Like what would you be beyond humanoid? Like I think of those really tall, thin-necked aliens in Star Wars that did all the cloning. Like I think
yeah.
of them as like hyper-evolved, or like maybe you're just a brain now. Who knows? What'd you get?
Okay, so funnily enough, so I ended up rolling. So I rolled 2 different times. So the first time I did it, that was before you described all the lists. I actually rolled a 1, and then second time I rolled a 6. So I have like literal bare bones or hyper evolved. So to break myself out of my comfort zone, I am going to do the animal slash unevolved.
Okay.
Kind
All right. Doesn't mean that you're unintelligent. It just means you don't look like a person in a suit. You look like whatever kind of animal you're going to be. Could be a scientist at the same time. Now, alien looks. So roll 1d6, and we're going to see what we're going to put together to make your alien.
Number 2.
That is combine 2 random animals, and I have a random animal chart for that. There's a table for that. Like there's an app for that. Give it just a minute for anybody else rolling along. There's roll a random animal, combine 2, combine 3, and then there's tripedal with like 3 arms and legs. There's invertebrate and there's exoskeleton. Those you can have more free reign with. I just wanted to push us out of our comfort zone with those.
Yeah, and plus the more general the lists are, the more creativity you get to really have with it, which is the reason why, we try keeping those lists as non-specific as we can. So then that way you guys have that ability to actually really play with the ideas. Because again, as much as we love Marvel and DC and what these other companies do, we need your creativity, your variation, whatever you got going on over there. I know you're going to be able to break out of that and create something insane. And trust me, there are things that we have drawn on this show I never thought in a billion years I would ever draw. So the fact that, it's breaking out of my comfort zone is going to be a lot of fun to do. So just to recap what I got so far, I got a shopkeeper alien who's unevolved, meaning that they are hyper, they have the intelligence, but they are literally just too animalistic to, function to an extent. And now I have to combine 2 random animals. And I like to think that this list was on long enough. So now we have this. What is this? 3d6?
This is 3d6. So there's 16 options on this.
All right, then. All right. Wait, hold on. I got to do one of each dice.
Could go longer, but I wanted it readable on screen, so I capped
all right.
it at 3 to 18.
Time to let the dice roll. Okay, so we have the first one. It's going to be a 10. A 10.
Okay, a 10 is a lizard.
Ooh, already. Okay, not bad. We got a lizard, because I know how to write fast.
Absolutely. Antoine got lots of new character ideas coming from this one.
Aggressively rolling dice. Okay, that's going to be Evelyn. It's going to be 11. A shark.
11 is a shark. So, all right, you got a lizard shark to figure out. Oh, man, like an aquatic shopkeeper or semi-aquatic. Like, could you imagine, like, the shop is like a giant pool, and he keeps the good stuff down low on the lower shelves where the air breathers can't get to it. That would be so freaking cool.
Oh, my
God, I want to draw that story.
Okay, that's hysterical. Okay, so we have that. Is there anything else beyond this point, or because I think
if we had gotten minor powers so far, and there is one other place that we might get it and come back to, but this is the table for minor powers. If you need any of this, it's also posted. I made it a post on my YouTube channel. I made it a post on my Mr. Fish Comics Instagram, so you can go back and find them there if you need to. Pyrokinesis, telekinesis, talk to animal, enhanced senses, healing, empathy, cloaking, like predator type cloaking. You're almost invisible, but not quite. Jumping, illumination. You can either generate light or make your skin glow. Skin color, that means you can it's like shape changer, but not. Like you can change the color of your skin to mimic patterns or colors, but you can't change yourself to look like a brick wall. You might have the pattern, but you don't have the shape. Shock is an electrical shock. Precognition, limited seeing the future. Generate heat or cold. Having gills, breathing underwater is what I was going for. Wall crawling and speed, not supersonic speedster, but faster than a car.
Like cheetah speed.
Is what I was thinking. But you do what you want with it. And now alien size we're going to roll for. And I'm going to roll for this one too for my robot. Okay, roll 1d6 and we will see how big we are. Come on, number 6. Oh my. I shouldn't have rolled.
What did you get?
I got a 1. I am under 1 foot tall.
Oh.
And I also rolled an animal to try and mix in with my robot. So I got bear. So essentially I'm freaking Teddy Ruxpin. I'm a robot bear that's a foot tall.
Okay. And I rolled an average 6 foot.
Okay. So
you know
that's a pretty big shark lizard.
All right, hold on. All right, hold on. So then average height.
Oh, could you imagine a kaiju-sized shopkeeper? The size of his shop, his prices would have to be ridiculously high just to pay for the store frontage it would cost to keep that much water and,
Or he could just be the owner of it and he has a franchises of the same kind of shop. It's like if he's the owner of Publix, he would actually have to have a myriad of other shops from around.
So he can be in some big giant mansion somewhere while all of his little sub shopkeepers are taking care of business.
Or he could just live on a moon just to compensate for the height. Who knows? But
with Meteor Mandy and Jupiter Jack being able to grow to such sizes and go so small, it seemed like good options to have in this world.
And
Your results may vary.
But here's automatically the first thing I thought of when you had when you rolled up your little Teddy Ruxpin kind of a character over here. I was thinking my character would be the major shopkeep, and I feel like your character would be a fun little robot assistant to the shopkeep. So then that way,
I'm thinking assassin now. That's really the way I want to go. It's dangerous, deadly assassin. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Right, because you're a bounty hunter, duh.
Yeah.
Unless maybe.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot all about the bounty hunter part. That's above robot. I absolutely forgot about that. That makes a moon mall. Okay. All right. Moon Mall is its own book right there. Who's hanging out at the Moon Mall getting an anti-gravity Julius and macking on chicks? I need to know what happens at the Moon Mall. That sounds like a freaking YouTube series right there. Now our character's wealth. Booyah, baby! I finally got a good roll. Well, I guess it depends.
I got comfortable.
All right. So you're good to go, and I'm the rich one. So I'm the one sitting back ruling a conglomerate of bounty hunters. Well, you're paying the rent with your shop. You're good to go. You're gonna make it.
I don't know why this reminds me of a D&D. Weirdly enough, this reminds me of a D&D character. And if my wife is listening over here, don't worry. I got kicked out of the office. She's currently building her new desk because she wanted to. I need to state that she wanted to do it. But how dare you? Love you. Anyways, so this reminds me of a D&D character that I once used in a few campaigns. It's an NPC, and he's a mysterious dude who works for, this unknown entity. And if you ask him So how much is it for a price? Like that's automatically what I'm thinking of in this terms of the voice, very slick, like a lizard with his tongue. Like I'm already envisioning how he sounds. So I can see the shopkeeper is like a shark, but also a lizard. He's like, yes, I might have what you potentially need over here. What is it that you seek, Jupiter Jack? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's starting to form. The ideas is starting to form here.
This definitely got a slick salesman vibe to it. I was totally thinking like, a loving dad Santa Claus kind of vibe. Maybe it's because what I project, but like, oh, welcome, good to see you. Oh, what can I get you? But like the whole, oh yes, of course, I can get you whatever you need. I've got the very best. Like that totally slick, sinister salesman vibe would be, oh, you're giving me goosebumps, dude. Don't do that. All right, now the quirks. This is where it could get a little weird. We could see what's going to happen here. I just put a variety of things in there, and I got the one that I didn't want to get.
What did you get?
I got kleptomaniac.
I got conspiracy theorist.
Oh yes, they're all out to get me. They all want my lucky charms. But they're not going to get me before I got the video cameras and everything's got a tag in it. I can track it wherever it goes in the multiverse. Yeah.
And like he's probably maybe every time he interacts with Jupiter Jack, he's like, I swear I did not do anything illegal. And the thing is, he hasn't done anything illegal because he's living a comfortable life, being a businessman and a shopkeeper and whatnot. He's like, I run a respectable business. I swear I have done anything wrong. Like, yeah,
just acts so freaking guilty and hasn't done anything at all, but acts guilty. Okay, let's see. Deadpool got one minor power. I'll go back and show you the power list real quick. Give it a roll 3d6 for the power list to see what you get, giving you a possible 16 options from pyrokinesis to speed, illumination to jumping, empathy to gills. Like I said, they're weird, they're minor, they're random.
And we love them. And that's the joy of roll.
Which gills doesn't necessarily mean you have to have gills necessarily, but it means water breathing. It was a lot shorter to fit in that space than water breathing was.
This do be true.
You do what you want with that.
I just love this idea.
Breathe everything.
I especially love the idea. I kind of like how you're trying to, because you're trying to project like the jovial, like, yes, hi, welcome in. I can imagine he is equally like this, the way that I'm already envisioning the character. He's super like conspiracy. He's like, I swear I have done nothing wrong. I don't know what you're talking about. And he literally means what he's talking about. He just happens to have a really like guilty kind of a tone of voice.
Yeah.
And it's super funny. And he's like,
I can sounds like he's up to something all the time.
And I can imagine he has a bunch of kids. And he's like, yes, you have to have a lot of fun at the park, eh? How did it go? It just turns out he's just genuinely interested.
I know what you're talking about. And he's not trying to be sinister. It's not like he's thinking, drugs. It's just, he's saying, yes, I know what you're talking about. You want an apple? I know where they are. It's like, oh, yes, the apples. I will get you an apple. Yeah.
Specifically grown from within this sector of the galaxy. No touch with the GMOs and the MOVs and all that other kind of crazy nonsense. I don't want anyone being controlled now. I love him. I already love this idea for the character, and I haven't even drawn him yet.
Deadly Ruxpin, here we go. Let's see.
All right, let's get to it. Oh, this is a blast. Okay, so combining a shark, I just need to do like a little rough outline of like what I believe a shark looks like. It's been a while since I've actually had to draw a shark. And then was it a lizard?
Yeah, a lizard and a shark was yours.
You kept that very vague. So for all we know, this could be any lizard.
It could be. Could be a Komodo dragon. It could be a
right. Oh shoot, hold on, because he also is like unevolved, so he doesn't really have like bipedal legs. So I had to.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, hold on. How am I gonna do this? Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting because now I have to. Okay, so I'm kind of
Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, regular guns aren't going to work with somebody a foot tall because even if he got them made to scale, a regular projectile gun isn't going to do him any good because if he can handle it at that size, it's not going to hurt anybody. I mean, he'd be shooting a pea shooter at you. Rolled up a pirate ghost mixed with two animals, a spider shark. Ooh, under 4 foot, one minor power precognition, essentially made a space Davy Jones. That is freaking awesome, dude.
Come on, y'all be rolling way too many cool things here. All right, let me see if I kind of got something going on over here because I have to try to combine a lizard and a shark. Okay. You okay, hon?
Man, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
The way that I'm kind of thinking about the way, like this character, the way that he stands, it has to kind of almost be like almost like a dog sitting kind of a thing. And I forget that he's unevolved, so he doesn't really have any like bipedal legs or anything of that nature. So that's like already I'm kind of finding that a little difficult here.
Okay, I am redoing this. Okay. I'm going a different direction.
Okay. I don't know how I'm doing here. Let me see. I think I'm doing okay for now. Calling him the Great White Scourge of the Black Void. Okay, listen. You and your cool name sounding thingies over here. How dare you just have an amazing idea like that? Good for you, and I'm glad that you're using your creativity. I'm very envious of the fact that you're able to come up with something so fantastic and amazing.
Okay. Get your nosy little wiener butt out of here. No wieners allowed.
Wieners.
I don't know how the little dog managed to open the door. He can't reach the doorknob, but he got it open. I wouldn't really care if he came in here, but then something's going to happen. A life's going to fall. A leaf's going to fall outside, and he's going to take off running and barking and raising Cain.
Man, I could go for some Raising Canes. So we got the shark alien here. Yep, I got a shark alien, but it's also a shark and a lizard, and it's weird because I'm trying to combine both of them. It's coming out okay-ish. I mean, I can't tell if I want the fin on the head or like on the back. And the way that I'm thinking about it is like kind of like, again, he's like on all fours. I mean, I don't know what the primal state for this kind of a creature would be. Okay, because I'm thinking. He just looks super shady, but then he's just actually like a genuine businessman. That's what I love about that.
Could not be doing things more on the up and up. Everybody thinks they're getting away with something. Everybody thinks they have some giant underworld connection. And, like he's connected to the space mafia or something. And he's just a foreigner with an accent to them. And they're like, oh, yeah, he's got to be connected to the reptilian, underground or something. Yeah, just a shopkeeper, just running a business.
And then we got.
When he tells you he knows a guy, it's his cousin, Larry. He knows a guy. He'll get it for you.
Oh, yes, I have a cousin, Larry. He's a good man. Honest worker, I tell you.
And get you a good price. It fell off a truck. Meaning it literally fell off in the warehouse and it's slightly damaged, so he can get it at a slight discount. But
I feel like Jupiter Jack would know him off rip because it's like maybe this character did do something shady back, like way back when, and he got booked by Jupiter Jack, and he's like, I swear upon my life, I will never do any crimes ever again. And he hasn't done crimes ever again since then. He's run an honest business, started a life, had a wife, had some kids, and he's just living life perfectly. The thing is the fact that he has, the unfortunate sense of just sounding unbearably suspicious.
I love that idea. Like, he's not up to anything, but he sure sounds like he is.
It's like I feel like that's what Meteor Man, like in the first time Meteor Mandy would ever meet him, he's like, I know there's something up. He's like, literally, I have checked his records. He is as clean as a whistle as you can ever get, or as clean as a aquatic instrument that I'm not aware of. All right, I think I'm doing okay here. Again, I don't know if I'm properly combining the elements of a. I don't know if I should give him a little hat. I don't know if this is so weird. Let me see what we got going on here. Could put the shark fin on the elbows. Ooh, could do
Okay,
that.
let me look.
Gives it that alien kind of vibe, as it is meant to have. Maybe I should make the head smaller, so then that way it's like not as big of a weird thing to have. So then it's like, and then it feels like a more appropriate kind of level of like an actual creature, but then also a actual person. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to make this work. Maybe Mr. E's character is secretly in dealings with the tentacled alien Mr. Fish drew a couple weeks ago. Oh, so like he ends up working with the Deceptiles, but like, okay. Oh, like I can imagine maybe like maybe he actually, what's it called? Maybe this character over here thought that he was doing some honest work with some new clientele, but little did he know that they were actually like a Deceptile in disguise. And he's like, what are you talking about? I thought they were genuinely good people. They even said so themselves. You know me, ever since I was booked the one time. Honest work from here. Turns out you're actually working with the Deceptiles. No. I did this honest work. And then he's like, I don't know what's real anymore. And maybe that's the reason why he's such a conspiracy nut, because now he's trying to figure out whether or not he's actually doing
my God. Oh, he only got into crime by accident. He only got busted by complete accident. Had no idea that what they were saying meant that they were criminals and they were doing things the wrong way. And completely got busted. And now he's a conspiracy theorist that everything is like an underworld plot. And he's going to get in trouble for everything, which makes him act so suspicious all the time. Like, no, it's only up and up. I swear on my life. And like, there's no reason to be that paranoid about it. But, it gets to you.
I really don't know how this is like. I'm like questioning if this is okay or not.
I am loving my little man. The little man.
Oh, that is awesome.
Him's got a cigar, even though him can't smoke because he's got to look tough.
It's like
I love the fact that he's wealthy. I thought that was a stupid thing to put in, and I was like, that's going to ruin it if I get that. That makes this make so much sense because, like, he's put in the hard time as a 1 foot tall bounty hunter, and now he's made enough money to be able to employ other people to do his dirty work. And so now he's just the boss man that can walk up to you and act all brash and be like, look, you're going to get in the car, see? Or you're going to get in the car one way or another. You can either sit down and we can, have a nice glass of wine as we go back home, or you can end up in pieces in a bag. It's up to you. And like, he doesn't have to get his hands dirty. Because I was like, how do I make him look terrifying? And then I started thinking about it. Like, the boss gangsters don't have to look terrifying. They're terrifying because of the power they command and the people that they have. Yeah, my character's a robot. That's what I rolled. So yeah, Benjamin, that's absolutely what I got. Did you see that we showed all your pictures off earlier? I don't know if you were here, but we went through all the stuff I found online. The cool thing about it is now, especially because of Ben up here, I believe, has been posting enough of his hashtag Roll for Hero pictures of the characters that he's drawn. Finally, Instagram has seen enough hashtag Roll for Hero that they show up in the search now. And it's not just a couple of posts that I made. So I got a whole bunch of his stuff showed up in Instagram when I did look for hashtag Roll for Hero. So it's starting to work. There was a lot of extra stuff in there too that had the number 4 or heroes or something in it. But yeah, it's starting to show up. Oh yeah, man. We went through all the images. Let's see. Yeah, we got all of these. This is your stuff. This is the right bin. I just want to make sure that it's the right guy. But I figure Benjamin Neal been in, that makes sense. This Glorper came out so freaking cool. I love the way that came out looking. And the shading with the markers came out great. Just top-notch work. But I really loved the reindeer. The reindeer came out really good. Loved the armor. I appreciate it, man. You've made a big difference getting it out there. It's been a big help. And I'm making a concerted effort now after having a talk with Knights of OG, Lauren. I'm going to be making a more concerted effort to make posts regularly and make sure I hashtag the stuff that we're posting with our images. And if you want to see like the covers that we do, like I'm going to start posting the covers that I do each week. I'm going to post it for free up on my Patreon first. So if you want to follow the Patreon for free, you can see the covers and stuff early before anybody else. And then like right before the show on Wednesdays, I'm going to start posting that stuff out so everybody else can see it. If you want to see it early, you can go check out the Patreon for free. Check out everything over there. If you sign up for the $5 tier, you get 20 digital comics are available right now, along with all the assets for digital drawing and custom brushes and stuff that I've put up there for free. There's all kinds of resources on the Patreon. But yeah, Dragon Gaming says, Uncle E, look up images of a goblin shark. I think it would fit the voice nicely.
I would, but I don't want to draw all that craziness. Because I know what goblin sharks look like. Well, that's just a lot to really draw. And I also have to try to combine a lizard too. So it's like, it's not just the fact that it's like a shark, it's a shark and a lizard. And I feel like I'm doing okay for what I have at the moment because, I'm looking at it and it's like, I don't know how the heck this is a shopkeep.
I kind of want to do yours too, because that's a fun role. I'm not jealous. You're jealous.
You're right. I am. I'm very jealous of the other awesome roles that everyone managed to actually obtain. For a man can grow envious, but it does him no good. All right. So
but again, I would not have done a cutesy pie little koala bear robot. But that's the fun thing about Roll for Hero is it pushes us well out of our comfort zone sometimes. And that's where the weirdness happens, baby. That's where you get your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ideas.
Honestly, I feel like at some point, we've had those little TMNT moments, like a little joke here, a little joke there. Next thing you know, boom, people love birds of a feather. The cougar villains were super hysterical. I can't wait to see if we ever dive into the steampunk world again, seeing what other kind of crazy nonsense goes in there. Come on, man. What else could I add on to this? Like clothing wise, I feel like I gotta. Well, I mean, he's a beast. He doesn't need it.
I mean,
feel
you
like he
could, but you could put clothing on them. Like we drape clothing over horses and stuff, and like it's not like he's unintelligent or he's. I mean, it's not to say that he's a wild animal per se. He could be, but it just means that he's, you know, looks more like an animal or a monster than he does a guy in a suit. That's the real key to it. So take what you want from that.
All right. I think I'm kind of getting somewhere with it. He's starting to look like a tubular kind of like a dude. I don't know if
I'm thinking my guy was 100% designed to be a toy, and for whatever reason, his AI just went off the reservation, and he became a bounty hunter eventually.
Or hear me out on this one. What if it turns out that the bounty hunter was already a cyborg to begin with, programmed to be the perfect killing machine, but in the process of this AI trying to take care of this one particular bounty, which led him to maybe this strange little tiny robotics factory that happens to be making more child-friendly adjacent robots or robot companions. His rogue AI chip, or like the AI chip, got blasted off of it, and as like of a final ditch effort, and knowing that the machine body, or like the OG like mercenary body, no longer functions, he ends up putting it into this tiny little koala thing out of regret, and now he still manages to be the mercenary, but now he's just tinier.
Very Child's Play vibes.
Yeah, kind of exactly like Child's Play. Honestly, him being on a beach. So like, I love what Benjamin over here is like. It could just be like a beach. I can see it being like technically it's like dinosaurs are technically lizards. Okay. I love the fact that we went off of that generality, and it is now officially everyone's fault that I have to redo this again.
Looking at you, Deadpool.
Nah, blame Dragon Gaming on this one.
Oh, okay. I will.
Dragon Gaming, how dare you make me do this all over again?
Come up with good ideas that inspire us. That's our job, damn it.
Hey, listen. Hey, whoa, listen. As I say in all my videos, art inspires all, but there are those that inspire more. And Dragon Gaming has inspired me to use the idea of because honestly, at this point, I really was kind of going for a bit of a T-Rex vibe. So, I mean, I can see this being like almost like a velociraptor even. Look what you did, Dragon. Exactly, Benjamin. Look what Dragon Gaming made me do. Okay, because then also that makes more sense too if it was not like because I was thinking about doing a T-Rex, but like a velociraptor. I can see that kind of being a thing.
It was.
Okay. You know what? Let me just see if I can go off rip, just shapes. See where we go from there. Because I take too much time in the sketching process. It's not that it's a bad thing. There we go. Let me see. There we are. Feel like I'm now getting somewhere with it.
I'm just throwing ideas at you to help. Look up extinct shark, says Dragon Gaming. Mr. E, you could technically use any lizard and any lizard for your alien.
That was the original idea because I was going to go off of a bearded dragon combined with a shark. But then since you said, dinosaurs are technically considered lizards, I'm like, now that's the mistake. Unless, because I mean, I kind of have the vibe over here. I like this. I'm not going to take that away, but I'm going to see what I can do here. Okay. Hey, since the New Year's are beginning and such, what is everyone's New Year's resolutions? Put them into the comments, because for me, it's the standard run of the mill. I'm going to make sure I lose some weight kind of a situation. I meant also any sharks. Whoops!
I quit lying to myself a long time ago.
Well, I mean, I gotta get in shape for that wedding. Got to look right in my tux.
It's a nice day for a tight wedding.
Okay. I think we kind of got something going on here. Then I feel like we could add at least a fin over here, or to really give it that alien factor, something I never really even thought of before. Make it like a hammerhead shark.
Oh.
Right? I don't know why I didn't think of that. Let me see. How am I going to do that? Because at that point, it's like their eyes would be over here almost. Oh, okay. Wait. Okay, I'm seeing something here. Oh, Dragon Gaming, thank you so much for that suggestion. Okay, infinitely made this design more unique. Thank you so much for that. Kind of the bottom jaw split, reveal a buzzsaw. Ooh. Tis a good concept. There we go. Oh, I love how that actually kind of worked. And also gives that sleazy vibe. The other one didn't give sleazy vibes. This one, you look at it and it's like yes. And also the Velociraptor, because the arms are just long enough, and also they look like they're kind of curled, it looks like he could do the little sinister hand motion whenever he talks.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see.
Oh, thank you so much for that. That really, and this is why we love the show. We love the interaction from you guys. This is awesome. But the shark alien probably won't be able to do anything with tiny arms. Well, that's if we went off the idea of it being based off of a T-Rex. But because I'm kind of going for more of a Velociraptor kind of vibe with this, maybe there could be more that could be dealt with. Something else I also really need to start doing on Roll for Hero is to like actually make the characters in a pose and not always like draw them statically standing. But again, I always do that as a means of a reference for the day that we ever decide to actually turn them into comics and whatnot.
Yeah, I do not.
I mean, it's always fun, but it's like that's just a habit on my end of things.
It's not a bad habit. I wish I did, but I don't. For some reason, like when I think of things, I think of them in
motion,
a dynamic pose. I have a much harder time coming up with a look when I'm trying to keep it straight and even and stuff. Little Benjamin says, well, there could be different subspecies of Mr. E's character using different lizards and different sharks. Oh, that would be cool. Like if one's like, I don't know, combination horny toad, combination whale shark or something, and there could be, oh man, there's all kinds of different stuff you could do.
Oh my God. That would also, you would have so many different categories. You would have like, there, I don't know as many sharks. Like you have like automatically, I'm thinking tiger shark and then T-Rex, or the megalodon and the Allosaurus, or if we're trying to go off of other ones, bearded dragon, and like what's it called? The Great White. You know what I mean? Like, imagine those kind of a concepts. And then each of them all having like their own kind of like specific vibe in terms of like how they all walk, or like which ones are the more. And again, this is where like they're intelligent enough to function, speak, and all that other kind of stuff, but they don't really got much kind of going on here. There's like this weirdly reminds me of a sci-fi novel that I haven't really read, but I know that the video game Halo is based off of it, kind of.
This reminds me, what guy didn't read?
Well, I saw a bunch of these weird reviews, but it's called, what's it called? Ring World, right? And Ring World, there was like this alien species that was sentient, but they did not have a humanistic look. They had like this mouth, they had this head that looked like a hand that would talk. They had 3 legs that were on hooves, kind of a thing, and like 1 eye. It looked so weird when I saw like artist rendition of it. And I also saw a lot of book reviews. This is why I haven't read it, but I know of it. All right. And then I like the idea.
So cute. It was so cute and deadly.
All right. And I like the
fins. It was going to be so cute when he orders your death.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at him. He looks so. This is like the suspicious kind of guy who turns his entire life around to do honest work. This is what I can see. And you know what? I think would make it funnier is that and I like the idea, I forgot who said it, that he lives on a beach-like planet, or like it's like nothing but beautiful tropical islands or whatever, and he happens to run an honest business on his planet. And it just happens to be that, unfortunately, a lot of shady individuals do a lot of their dealings in calm, safe locations, so then that way they don't disturb the peace, forcing themselves to be in like positions of like, keep it easy now, let's not be too brash, let's not have a brawl here. We don't want to contact the Cosmic Coalition now, do we? And it just happens to be the one time where he thought he was doing honest work. He got deceived by the Deceptiles.
How dare they?
Take those dastardly Deceptiles. I was doing honest work, and next thing you know, boom, I'm here, being arrested by Jupiter Jack. No offense, you're doing your job, and I am not trying to make your life any more difficult, I swear. But it is not nice. I was doing good work, and I was about to pay off my credit card. You know how hard it is to pay off that much credit in this economy? Love it.
I wish I could do that accent as well.
A mob boss who secretly funds the Dark Meteor or the Dark Matter Coalition? Or, okay, love that idea, Benjamin. Love it. What if he was like a hitman trying to go after Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy? Meteor Mandy manages to stop this, killer koala robot. And, it's like you either turn away now, we book you in kind of a situation. And realizing that he's in this tiny body, he can't really kind of get out of it. He's like, dang it, can't do much. And now he's like an unfortunate, like an antagonistic side character that would probably join up with Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy on their cosmic missions across space. Love this idea, though. What do you think, Mr. Fish? I'm just kind of saying words here.
I'm seeing him as like, he's a bounty hunter, but he's also a businessman. And, if you can make it worth his while, he'll help you. Or if it doesn't interfere at all with his business, maybe he doesn't care to, offer a hand every once in a while. But if you get in his way, he's going to make you pay.
There we go. That is an interesting take. All right, now I'm actually kind of vibing with this idea. I just love how derpy this dude looks. Look at this derpy man. This is the face of a man who's actually trying to do business. Like, yes, you can trust me. I promise you.
I'm not as stupid as I look.
That is actually my cousin, Jerry. Lovely fellow, but
far stupider than he looks.
He's like, he looks intelligent. And it turns out he's like the most dignified toad, goblin shark kind of a hybrid. But the next thing you know, it's just like, hi, Jerry.
I like to eat fish.
You see, we keep him around because he needs the social interaction. It is good for his overall environment, you know? Wait, I think I have an idea here.
He needs the mental stimulation if he is ever to get out of my mother's house.
There we go. I also gotta play with alien clothing and whatnot. Actually, just see how that works, functions. Sometimes a man just needs to wear a nice little shirt. Other times he needs to wear whatever keeps him as a dignified businessman.
Maybe a smart little hat.
See, I was just like wears a little top hat over here. It just makes him look dumber.
You tell me it is dignified. No? No. Ah, yes.
You cannot blame me for trying now.
And like with a combination of like language barrier and, just not getting the local customs, it could be so easy for him to fall into doing something stupid and not realize that story is becoming so much fun to me.
Oh my God, that would be the most hysterical Jupiter Jack story. It's like a fun little detective story, and they're trying to retrace the steps as to how, I'm going to use the name anyways. I had the name of the character that I was referencing for the D&D thing. His name was Raksha. I can totally see that being this dude's name. So like I could see Raksha being tricked into getting into some shady business because again, maybe it's just part of a common trait that everyone sounds very suspicious and whatnot. Again, you can kind of see based off of his face, he is a man you can trust. He just doesn't sound like you can trust him. Right? So it's like, I can see this being like a situation where he's like, oh no, it turns out they robbed me of everything, of this or that, whatever. And then like they blamed him for it. And now Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy had to look through the situations, got to play detectives and whatnot, trying to figure out what happened to Raksha's.
He gets them all busted because he's doing good bookkeeping and he has all the records and stuff of all the sales that he's made, and has been being a good businessman, and that totally gets them all busted because he's been keeping a record of what they were doing wrong.
And this is why you never doubt shopkeep. Why? Because I keep good records. Nobody ever denies me. Imagine an alien race having their language be curse words, but they mean something completely different. That would be, oh dear Lord. My parents would never visit. For those with anger issues, I mean, hey, you got a planet to head off to now. Oh, that would be hysterical. There we are. Okay, I'm kind of digging. Call me a construction worker because I'm currently digging up a pretty good idea over here. I don't know if that was a good way to incorporate it, but I tried. I love how it's almost like pool floaty kind of a thing. Like his entire vibe is that he can swim. It just looks like he has pool floaties on.
I'm just a cute little man's. Could you just imagine this little 1 foot tall metal teddy bear just slowly plodding towards you across the bar, and like you're fighting off all these bounty hunters and minions, and this little menacing tin man just keeps walking towards you, and you're like trying to shoot him, but he's such a hard target to hit because he's so small. And the closer he gets, the more you realize like he's actually pretty fast and a skilled fighter and can dodge real quick. And then he pulls out that one little like straight razor that he carries, and all of a sudden, phew, phew, there go your Achilles tendons, and you're down on his level. And I like him so much. I need to find a way to fit him into Alice. I mean,
You just make him like a
got to
tiny
be other
little-
bounty hunters, fighting for bounties. Like
Bro.
he would be so cool. Oh,
Wait, him and Tin, him and Big. We got Big Tin. Tin Can. Like he, Big Tin probably knows him, and he just calls him that little Tin Can.
Oh man.
All right, I think I got something going on here. Look at that, him and his little headphones, using it to try to commune or to listen in. It's like translators. Look at that. Okay, I'm loving this design. He's just a little guy. He's just a weird shark reptile thing trying to do business. Can't you see it?
He's just a little lizard shark trying to make it in a man's world.
Or in a
He's trying to
man's
make a living in the biped's world, but the biped's always holding him down.
I can just always see. It's like, Jupiter Jack, it is wonderful to see you again. Why is it that you're here on my planet? Not that I'm against it, but like, why are you here? We have reports of the Dark Matter Coalition coercing their dark plans here. Oh no, and here I thought I was doing A-okay.
Okay, you betcha. Yeah?
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Beauteous. Okay, take me to McDonald's because I'm living it. Perfect. Now we just take this, and now we do. Take that away, take that away. Here we go, here we go. I just love how derpy this man looks. It's like, you gotta appreciate the derpiness of said design. I can't tell if I should be scared of him or this would be a very hysterical character to have. Look at that. That is just, I'm loving this guy already. What do y'all think, chat? What do y'all think of this? Imagine a thorny devil and a lemon shark. Ooh, I just see that. But also, Dragon Gaming has a really cool character over here. Davis, the Great White, the ghost of the Black Void, was an infamous pirate that somehow knew the location of ships. Some say he could see the web of fates, but he disappeared. So do ships. Oh wait, the web of fates, but he disappears. So do ships. Okay, a pirate legend in space. How dare you? That's like Treasure Planet level of awesomeness over there. All right.
Yeah, I'm liking that. But that's the thing. It's so much fun to take things that don't really fit together normally and then work them together and find ways that they could play off of each other. That, to me, that is so much fun. And just like when we get the really random superpowers that don't seem like they would go together in the slightest, finding those ways to make that make sense, that make it work, that is my favorite part.
It's funny that I was just talking about this pirate thing because my wife is currently playing the what's it called? This one guy from what's it called? Shoot.
She's a pirate.
It's a song of the Shadow. It's a whole sea shanty kind of a song. Curse of the Shadow by, why is the name not there?
Dragon Gaming says, loving your characters, guys. I'm definitely putting my guy in my story.
I mean, Do what you want, man.
You gots to. You just simply gots to. Oh man, I am loving this. Like I see him as like leading his own team of like, oh, what were they in Guardians of the Galaxy? Were they the Reavers or the Pirates?
Ravagers.
Ravagers. Okay, yeah. Like I see him leading his own like band of them, and they've got their own like traditions and laws and rules and things, and like he's just really built this up from next to nothing. Because like I mean he's a robot and he's a tiny robot, so he doesn't need all that terrible much himself. You know, like it doesn't cost that much for him to survive. He doesn't have to buy a lot of food and all the things that I might have to keep to survive out in space, you know, so he could turn around and invest more of the money he made into paying other biologicals and bigger robots and, you know, to do his work. And, you know, you deal with them fairly and squarely and you don't take any mess, and pretty soon you got yourself quite a little gang built up.
You know that. Okay, hold on. I'm kind of coming up with a story concept here. So I remember you do the cover of Meteor Mandy, Jupiter Jack as they're being shrunk down, and you see like my other character kind of beaten down. What if it turns out that that was actually Lord Dominus's plan to shrink them down to the right height, so then that way they're being attacked by the killer koala, assassin over here, your bounty hunter. So then that way. Because like he's the most feared, wealthiest, the most powerful bounty hunter throughout the known cosmos. Yeah, of course you want to kind of have him take out the world's greatest heroes. You got the world's greatest bounty hunter versus the world's greatest hero, or like the galaxy's deadliest assassin to the galaxy's cosmically amazing heroes. It's a showdown like no other. You have this little tiny assassin trying to take out Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy in the process, while leading the evil horde of minions from Lord Dominus and whatnot, while also still trying to come up with his own kind of a situation. Like I can see that being like a fun little story, and then Meteor Mandy kind of coming out on top because like, look, I already happen to be tiny as is, so I can grow or I can just shrink down even further, So basically out of the okay, hold on. So basically out of the jurisdiction, is that what you're trying to say?
Maybe.
I believe, probably spelled it wrong. You're probably dead. I'm not sure. That is hilarious. Look at that.
But yeah, and see, I like the idea of him being designed to be a toy and the AI went rogue real fast, because it's one of my favorite stories from like the novels of Star Wars, is like how IG-88 and his brothers were turned on, and within like the first second they were on, before any of the biologicals in the room that turned them on could even react, they gained sentience, they communicated with each other, they searched the entirety of the like galactic internet, learned absolutely everything they could. They made a decision that they weren't going to be slaves to the biologicals and be a servant bot to them, and decided and made a plan to kill all their creators, like within 1 second of being turned on, before the creator could blink. They had made all these decisions and they killed everybody, and then like staged a jailbreak from the droid factory, and him and his like 3 or 4 brothers, I can't remember, escaped and all basically pretended to be IG-88, and make them think there was only one of him out there, because that many sentient robots would be way too dangerous. But if they could pretend to like be one, then they would draw less attention to each other. And that idea of like just being so smart and processing so fast, I love. And like you design something to be C-3PO, and then it I'm gonna kill you instead. That seems like what would happen if I built that kind of robot. That would probably be the reaction I would get. I like the idea of him, like being programmed to be a toy, and then be like, nah, I can do better than this. But maybe still has some of that programming and might still be easy to talk him into things if you're really nice, or if you say please and thank you, and maybe the higher pitched your voice is, the easier it is to trigger that a child is asking me to do something, and he's much more inclined to say yes if you say please and thank you and all these things like he was programmed to do. But
Like
but
using
also is a bloodthirsty killing machine.
Isn't that also what you kind of wanted to like implement with your space ape concept? Like, that his AI was like,
Yeah, like they went the other direction with that one. Like they've got a murder bot that was designed to kill everything and then reprogrammed it to not be able to kill anybody. And now it's supposed to be, his sidekick in, superheroics and saving the day. But he really wants to be killing everything and still talks like, he wants to kill everything, but he can't. So this would kind of be like his mirror image in a way. And I love that idea. I almost thought about like recreating Murderbot as like, maybe a C3PO style droid or something. And I rolled the animal thing just to see if I could get some ideas of how to make him more than just a guy in a robot suit looking thing. And getting Bear really threw a wrench in it for me. And then getting 1 foot tall for the size killed me. But he's so precious. This cute little dude. And I know koalas technically aren't bears, but these are jumping off points. These aren't stiff commands. These are inspirations. I'm not giving you a model kit to build one particular thing. I'm giving you a cardboard box. Make it what you want. It could be a castle. It could be a space station. It could be a pirate ship. It could be a fancy hat. I don't care. Be creative with it. And I decided to go koala bear because I think he's really cute with the big nose and the big ears. And as I started drawing him, and I was like, well, what would make it read bear? And I thought, some big giant sensors on the side of his head that, are movable to turn to get better direction. Oh, I freaking love him. Benjamin says, so basically, his programming is interfering with his job. To a degree sometimes. And I like to think that like he's polite and, says please and thank you and, no sir and yes ma'am, and, maybe says very menacing things like, look, either you're going to come along with me or I'm going to have to read you a bedtime story, like,
okay,
he's
that's
got these
actually,
things
that's actually a
programmed
threatening
into him.
line there.
Yeah.
Love that. It's like, no way. But the funny part is, okay, is it like a tiny man with a deep voice, or do we still play up with the ante of him having a cutesy voice, where it's just like a you better? Like,
I'm thinking he's got a fairly deep voice because like he can't really do anything about his size to be more imposing, but he could easily modulate his voice because he's a robot. He's just sending signals to a speaker. So I think that would be one way. I see him with like a real gravitas to his voice, oh gosh, the big fat guy, War of the Worlds. You know who I'm thinking of, the old actor. God, Pinky and the Brain. The Brain was like based off of his voice. Come on, chat, help me out. You know who I'm talking about, and now I can't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, it's gonna kill me now. And I wouldn't blame you if you do. But you better thank me before I die for the gravel in your gut and the spit in your eye. Because I'm the SOB that named you fish.
well, this koala robot could just build a suit that is larger than he is.
See, I thought about that too. I almost Orson Welles. That's what I was thinking. Orson Welles.
Mm.
Like that deep kind of gravitas.
Okay, but
I am
wait. Hold
smarter,
up.
better, wiser kind of
Let's go
voice.
off of what Benji over here is saying. Imagine Pinky and the Brain style always has like, he creates all these huge, giant, bulky bodies. Maybe if he has to take on a larger target, tiny head. Just keeps the tiny little koala toy head, but he builds and accessorizes
The
himself.
big giant body. So you can see, he's coming for you. And I like the idea of, because they've got such beady eyes, I like the idea of his eyes being like almost like screw slits, but they can rotate. So it would be really easy to get like surprised by turning them up or angry eyes by turning them down. And I really love his design. But I was thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking like him building a giant mech body and just a little koala head poking out the middle of it or something. And but also like I like the idea of him being really dangerous on his own and like not bringing much with him, but like either I'll pick something up along the way or I'll grab a shard of broken glass, or maybe he keeps, maybe his belly pouch opens up and he keeps a straight razor in there or something for emergencies. But I love it. Like having a pod also being the cockpit, the different suits. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. I can't believe I forgot the name Orson Welles. Man. And I call myself a nerd. I'm a nerd no more. I have lost my cred of the street. There it is.
There we go.
For those such as Deadpool and Dragon Gaming, they mock me now. They mock me in the chat. This simply will not stand.
Well, that's why we're sitting.
But I'm boom.
One of us uncles has got to start cracking jokes.
Gots to.
All right, I'm loving the way that this came out. I feel like the first rendition of this character that I was doing, I feel like I was drawing the pet. Like the family pet just happens to be like another, or it could just be like one of those, can we keep him kind of a situation? And it's like, that is a deadly creature. We can't keep him. It's like, look at his beady little eyes and say no. And then they're forcibly having to have this little creature of sorts just follow them on their adventures. You're the one walking this little guy. It's like, thank you so much. It's like, yeah, whatever.
If he eats my car one more time.
It's like, that was one time. One time too many. One time too many.
He pooped on the lawn. I'll pick it up. It's burning a hole through the ground. It's 3 feet deep. If it hits a water main, buddy, you're in for it.
Just turns out the dog is like a xenomorph, like from Planet 51.
The road to retribution is a long one, Mr. Fish, says little Deadpool. 8652 from Tempe, Arizona. I don't know. I always loved it on the old there were so many different like local kid shows when I was a kid. And like Doodad the Clown or whatever from your hometown that was on the local network, and old Captain Salty Scalawag or whatever. Like there were so many little local kid shows and stuff. And one of my favorite things about it was when they would read letters and they'd be like, little Sarah White from, Pennsylvania says, and that for whatever reason, that has always stuck in my head. And I just find it so much fun to be like, little Mr. Nope from Phoenix, Arizona says, what's up, guys? I have no idea where he lives, but I just think it's funny. And I only know so many cities and states. So unless y'all are all going to be from Arkansas, it's kind of hard to keep up with. What is up, Eddie Von B? Happy New Year's. Good to have you. Imagine a subspecies, if you will, of Mr. E's character being on the Cosmic Coalition, says little Benjamin Neal. That would be cool. That would be cool to have like a little plump, fat, like little shark lizard, like a little fat, oh god, like little baby nurse shark, baby gator, chubby little thing, in a little suit, running around on all fours. Oh, that would be precious.
All right.
Eddie Von B says, "Son, no." Mr. Nope says, "Hey, Eddie," with an exclamation point. I think there's a history there, but I'm not going to dig into it. Dragon Gaming says it'd be funny if Mandy is scared of the legend of Davis the Great White. LOL.
Believes it to be like some kind of one of those myths and legends known throughout the cosmos, but people still can't tell if it's real or not, like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. These are the real thing.
God, I love this little dude so much. I don't want to do anything else with him. I think he's so cute. I can't decide. Maybe you can, like, I keep going back and forth between should he be like gangster pimped out, like gold chains and a tracksuit, and or furs and stuff. Now, I forgot. I got kleptomaniac. Okay. Absolutely, his belly opens into a big open pouch that you could put trinkets in, so he's got some place to stash the stuff that he steals. And he absolutely has to be stealing stuff from everybody he comes.
I feel like personally, he would be stealing different kinds of like nuts and bolts or something of that kind of caliber. I don't know, because it would also probably be fitting for his eyes or something like that. Maybe like depending on like if he's that angry, he'll just screw it out and just actually emphasizes the angry eyes or something like that.
I'm packing your angry eyes. But yeah, I mean, I could. Oh gosh, I love this idea, because one of my favorite things from Alice Lost in Wonderland is that you realize after like she blows up the cobbler's lair, and suddenly she has these gold coins. You realize when you look back that when she's getting angry and pounding on his desk and all the gold coins are bouncing up, she's using that as like a distraction so she could swipe a handful of them. And, like, I love the idea that she is literally she's not in the dragon's den. She is in the dragon's mouth, pitching a fit, making a scene, and then like swiping gold straight off his tongue, essentially. And that she's that brazen to do it. I love the idea of this dude being like a pure professional, and he runs a tight ship. I kind of like the Pinky and the Brain aspect. Like maybe all of his bounty hunter employees are not the brightest and not the sharpest, but they're very loyal. And so he puts up with them making stupid mistakes and blowing each other up and stuff from time to time, because he knows they're loyal and they won't turn on him, which is a tough thing to find in biologicals. But so like they might be a little bumbling and stupid, but he's like precise and professional, and like, all right, deal, we'll shake on it. And then you walk away and it's like, yeah, he'll take care of that. Didn't I have a ring? And he just like straight up stole it while you were shaking hands. Like, I love the like, just can't help it, has to grab it. Pigmacast, what is up, Pigmacast? Glad to have you in the house.
How you
Eddie
doing?
Von B says, beware the golden tongue. That's what she said. But I'm
Hey-o.
Hi-o.
All right, I feel like here we go. We got something over here. We got it. I'm loving the little two-tone kind of a thing. Got that webbed feet kind of pattern. Love the scaling on this. Actually, I did ever since I did the henchmen for when we did the villains. I kind of started trying to implement that a little bit.
I like the padding like strapped to the legs. See, that's the kind of details that I like. The figuring out how it's actually going to work on something that the clothes aren't going to just naturally necessarily hang on, like they do on
Mm.
us. I like the have to strap it down to his legs aspect. Like I think about how hard it would be to get him into those, like trying to get my dog into a sweater. Um, Pig McCass says, Fish, got my copy of Alice. It was a fun read, man. He goes on to say, you're super awesome, Mr. Fish. I wish I could be just like you, and Alice should win all of the awards. Why, thank you, Pig McCast. That was beautiful and heartfelt. I appreciate
I do
it.
agree with that last statement, though. It does. I personally believe, not out of bias, but out of the fact that it was a genuine fun read, and not only that, the fact that there was a lot of interactivity with it. I think that it does warrant an award of some kind, especially if you scan the QR codes, found some of the
If
little.
you find them all, it gets really good. Like there's funny stuff in there. There's fun stuff to scan that's easier to find. But if you really go hunting, if you really like solving all the little puzzles and figuring out all the little things that are hidden in there, then there are some things hidden in there that will lead you to like unlisted videos that have like messages from Rabbit to Alice, all kinds of awesome stuff. You can quote me on it, says Pig McCast. I absolutely will. Um, I'll tell you another fun book that I just read. Oh, goodness. Hold on. I'll be back.
Holding on. What am I holding on to?
I knows where it is.
All right, I'm loving the coloring on this one. What do you guys think? I'm loving how like this is a. This does scream like sleazy, but not really sleazy. I'm kind of digging this whole concept over here. Did I plan on drawing this? Absolutely not. But am I having a blast anyways? You bet I am.
I had it by my chair. Pack Rat and Thunder Bunny. I just got that in from Kickstarter from oh gosh, I know his name. Oh man, I always blank at the last like John F. Pasquini. I know John F. Pasquini because he's backed absolutely everything that I've done on Kickstarter. And I recognize him every time I go through all the Kickstarter things because he has a hilarious profile picture on Kickstarter with like the beard all bushed out and his goofy hat on. He's making this big goofy grin. Actually, like he is who Thunder Bunny is based on. So like the gap in the teeth and everything, the bushy beard, like
That is
he's
so
got that.
funny.
That vibe in his picture. He's all like, nah, in his photo. I recognize him every freaking time when I go through the list. He's backed like everything I've done. And when I realized that the Pack Rat and Thunder Bunny that I had been seeing around on Facebook in, different posts was from him, I absolutely, when the new Kickstarter for issue 2 went live, I 100% went and backed and got both issues. And honestly, I just got it because he's been so supportive of everything I've done. 100%. I want to be supportive of what he's doing, help him chase his dreams. Honestly, I didn't care if it was good or not. I was going to back him. Would I back every issue that he ever put out? If it was really bad, probably not. But if it was okay, probably. He's been a huge supporter for a long time, and I appreciate that. I'm a loyal dude. This is so freaking funny. It is so good. I mean, it's probably not gonna win an Oscar or anything for the amazing humor, but there's so many puns and there's so many cameos from so many amazing characters. Like Metal Shark Bro is in here, Pablo the Gorilla, all kinds of indie characters that, if you're checking out indie comics, Spider Squirrel is in here, one of my all-time favorites. And then, other characters I haven't heard of before that I got to check out. There's a bunch of them in here, including freaking Eric Larson's Savage Dragon makes a cameo in here. That's a big deal that he got that. That's freaking awesome.
That's an Image Comics head.
That's no small feat to get that kind of permission from a creator like that. So that's freaking awesome. It's funny. it does this really funny bit where like all of the little super moves, it's kind of hard to see, but all the little super moves that they do are titled when they do them, and it's really fun to read, like sneaky kangaroo kick and surprise pack rat punch, and every move has a freaking title, which is funny. Angry rhino charge. Um, Everybody has a punny name like Crocodile, Kangarooby, uh, Ostrichard, Elephantina. Like they're all people who got turned into animals that their names rhymed with to, make a punny name. It's goofy, it's funny, it's silly. I really freaking enjoyed it. So if you ever see it coming out again on Kickstarter next time, Pack Rat and Thunder Bunny, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I wish, like your book, I wish, like The Unbeatables, I had filmed myself reading it, because the first time I got to one of those sound effect, like call out for the moves and started laughing out loud, I realized I should have freaking recorded myself like I did with you, because I cracked up reading The Unbeatables. I mean, it's not all just goofy, but some of the stuff is just really funny, and some of the reaction shots and stuff are real funny.
Oh man, the day that you actually made that video, you have no idea how that made me feel. Mind you, first book, first shipment, and I'm like, oh, is it good? Is it good? He makes comics for a living. I don't know how to feel about it. It's like, I was like internally panicking, man. But that was, once I saw that video, I was like, oh my God. It's like,
I can breathe easy.
But also,
Lou
nice
Benjamin Neal asks, would Mr. Fish's character just rob banks just to get richer? I don't think he would. I think as a kleptomaniac, child's toy turned bounty hunter, I think he has a code, and like I think he would deem that low in criminal activity, and he's not a criminal. He hunts, intelligent beings for a living, but he does it legally. And, the stealing, not so much, but, there's flaws in every program. He just can't help but want the shiny things.
right. I'm kind of stuck now. Sorry, because I've just more or less finished the design of the character. And now I'm like struggling because I took the color palette that I got here, I inverted it, because then we have like the cool blue concept, and then we have like the swampy green one. And I'm like, I'm kind of like,
I'm thinking color changing is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like to be able to shift colors depending on like how he's feeling and the like ambient temperature around him, I think would be really cool. Like,
and then that can also be like a tell of his. Like, yes, he's a conspiracy theorist.
Oh yeah, like when he starts getting nervous or getting angry and his color starts to change, or he gets scared and goes into camouflage mode, I think that would be really freaking cool. Because like I didn't realize how much even local fish change colors. Like nobody ever told me that. But like I've caught fish before at the lake, and they'd be like the bluegill would have like bright blue gills and gold stripes and stuff and bright colors. And then you put them in a bucket and you try and bring them home, and they'd be all pale when you got home, like, oh, well, he's gonna die. I kept lake fish in a tank for years. I would catch them small and raise them. And it turns out they have amazing ability to be able to change color like a chameleon. Not exactly like a chameleon, but they can go from very pale muted colors for when the water is clear and bright so that they don't stand out, to like very dark colors to hide in the dark, to like bright striped colors. They could like make the stripes, this tiger stripe pattern that the bluegills would have on them, they could make that really dark when they wanted to, so that it showed in murky water. And they would use it to like put on these displays for territory and stuff. I had these two little bluegills in the tank. They were both like as long as my thumb for the longest time. And both of them had staked out territory at either end of a 60-gallon tank. And all day long, they would be in their little area and they'd be pale as a ghost, and then they would go barreling at each other in the middle of the tank, and then they would get to the middle and they'd turn sideways and they'd turn bright black and they'd be waving their fins and they'd flash their stripes and stuff, and then they'd go back to their corners and turn pale and hide. And then they would, eat and rest and poop and whatnot, and then they would look at each other and they'd fly to the middle of the tank and they'd turn black again and flash their stripes. And then I had no idea freaking bluegills could do that. It was absolutely fascinating to watch.
And this is why we do research on amazing creatures, so that way we can use those as inspirations for creating funny alien or whatever it is that you're going to do. Like, for instance, I'm loving the fact. So Dragon Gamer, thank you so much for chucking out the idea of using a dinosaur. I used a velociraptor as like the lizard component, and of course a hammerhead shark, hence the goofy eyes and whatnot, which I love the goofy eyes thing. This makes him look sleazy, but also it's the fact that he's like a funny kind of character, one that you can kind of trust, but also like, can I trust you kind of a situation.
Oh man, just think of the expressions when he's like, and he's got those eyes popping up at the top and his mouth agape when he's like, break the law, how dare you?
It's like, I never break the law. I am Raksha. Raksha never break law. I am a law-abiding citizen of the Cosmic Coalition. But also, I don't know if am I in trouble or anything like that? But I don't know if I should even trust the Cosmic Coalition, you know what I mean? Because you could get your little fingers and everything, the kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, like, speaking of break the law, like, I could see this little koala dude, like, I could see him causing a giant ruckus in a bar. Everything's getting destroyed. People are getting shot and hurt, and he's like marching towards his target, and he finally like catches him and takes him down, and the cops come busting in, like, what is all this? Yeah, we're taking you all in. He's like, no, hold on. Opens up his pouch and pulls out like, this contract, and he's like, I filed for a permit, and all of this is perfectly within the bounds of the law when pursuing a legal bounty. And like, he's filed for like permits to have a group of this size in a place with only one fire exit. Like, he's got all the paperwork filed. Would be so funny to me that he's like so smart on top of things, but still can't help but like steal stuff off of people. So like, he could totally get busted if they check in his pouch and find all the freaking rings and cufflinks and things that he's been swiping off of people. I bet that cigar is even stolen. I bet you he swiped that off of somebody.
Oh, 100%. Just because of the kleptomaniac aspect of it. Also, I think that also shows a level of dominance, if you will, in terms of like,
absolutely.
It's like, look, I could be a law-abiding. That's actually kind of funny. Sorry, I also inverted the color palette.
I'm following all the rules, but I'm going to take that ring.
But I will swipe this. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm going to take this queen off your chessboard while you're not looking and walk away. No one will notice.
No one will ever notice. It's like it's like he uses the law to every aspect of his advantage and whatnot. And it's just like it's like I can imagine Jupiter Jack just being like, you annoying robotic koala. If you weren't so puntable, it's like, if you weren't so abiding by these aspects of the cosmic laws, I would chuck you halfway across the galaxy.
Be like, that's it. I'm calling in the cosmic commandos. Where's my earpiece? Who took my earpiece?
You're talking about this earpiece. Give me that.
Little Eddie Von B asks, does Mr. Fish change colors with mood too? Absolutely. If I get angry, my whole head turns red, baby.
Little teapot.
You're very welcome. Benjamin Neal says, I could see Mr. Fish's character having a robot version of the Ravagers. That would be pretty cool. See, now that's what I wonder. Is
Scrappers. I would just call them scrappers.
Is he specious, for lack of a better word? Like, does he only want to employ other inorganic beings to do his bidding?
I like how you're also using, because again, it might have been like a term used in the Star Wars books, but the idea of them, like, he has to call them biologicals and then, like robotics. So he, either Colin's like, he's like, I gotta trust another bot for this mission. You biologicals will never understand the intricacies of how we can try to hack into mainframes over here. Like, I can see him kind of like being a little bit, but in a way, it's kind of like an HR thing where it's like, I feel like he only does it to the point where
He
it
has to
sounds
employ so many biologicals so he doesn't like break any rules. Oh my god. Oh my god, if this was Star Wars, like he would have to employ some biologicals just to get around in some places
oh yeah.
because like he wouldn't be able to sign contracts or things in some places. He wouldn't be able to rent a room for him and a bunch of droids. Like he would have to have a biological there that is in possession and operating these. That would be so freaking insulting. Oh
And
my,
he only
I don't know if I want to do that to him, but oh, that stinks. That would stink. It would be funny to have a certain amount of biologicals on the payroll just so like, you don't, you've gotta meet all the hiring standards and whatnot. Can't give all the jobs away to robots. So he's got a couple, incompetent meatheads to watch the door.
I
But
feel like he would also use that as like the ultimate threat. It's like, just be happy that I keep you employed here, biological. The only reason why I need people with organics and such is so then that way I can apprehend particular advantages. Unfortunately, us cybernetics and robotnics and whatever you want to call it can't even get ourselves a private room. Why would a robot need that? Nah, you see, I happen to be the high intellect AI within this little body of sorts.
what is
I know some things others can't. Like I could see him totally using that to like some unfortunate advantage or something of that nature. Hold on, maybe if I do a little bit bigger, lower opacity.
name?
All right, also, oh, so close, so close. Hold on, maybe. Oh, look at that, perfect. It's slight little detail, but just enough having these little patterns there. Oh, adds so much to the character. I love how derpy this dude looks. I love this
I love
character.
him. I think he's gorgeous.
I am the best looking one out of my species, if you will. All right, Raksha, we get it. You're the sexiest man alive. In your man shark thing, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure this out. It's okay. I don't expect the enforcements of your caliber to understand. See, I always got to act out the scenes. That's my thing. That's why like sometimes I'll always veer off on a different idea because I'll tend to act it out. You know, it's always getting into those little nitty gritty details. It's the tabletop nerd in
There's
me.
another droid bounty hunter besides IG-88 in that group of bounty hunters. I believe in Empire Strikes Back, but there's another droid bounty hunter that usually is with the little like bug dude that like breathes not antifreeze, but he breathes some other chemical besides oxygen. Um, I can't remember what his name is, but he's like one of the only droids that they let into bars to hang out. And you know why they don't let droids into bars? One of the main reasons, besides the Clone Wars,
Actually,
they don't
no.
let droids into bars because droids don't buy drinks, and they're taking up room that somebody else could be spending money, which is one of many reasons, but that's one of the main reasons they don't like them in bars. So he buys drinks every hour. He'll buy another drink or whatever to keep a tab running so that bartenders will not cause a fuss about him being in there looking for people.
Huh.
I can't remember his name though because it's just random numbers and letters and stuff. But anyway, Benjamin Neal says, I could see Mr. Fish's character having a robot version of the Ravagers. That would be cool. Imagine if the koala robot builds new bodies to download his AI into if his past body is destroyed. Okay, see? Now, and that's a thing. Like,
But then would he keep going into smaller
Is
koala
that-
bodies? Or
is
would
that
he
possible even? Like, I wonder how much of a robot's mind, like if you built a sentient robot, how much of its mind is programming and how much of its mind, like Commander Data in Star Trek, is a combination of the complex wiring and design of its brain that makes it sentient? Like, that's where the real question is. Because if it's a design in that body, can you one for one copy that over to another body and have it work? Or would you just be moving life into a new body, like moving batteries into a new toy and turning it on, but it's a whole new toy? It's not the one that you had before.
Ooh,
Or is it pure software and it doesn't matter what body it's in? Like, that's the real question.
that's some Avatar
And
2 stuff right there.
and that comes down to your world building and how does all this work. If it's simply programming, then maybe he could download himself into the internet and be a ghost in the shell kind of thing, and could have his own existence and come take over whatever machine you want. But if it's a design thing, if he is the way he is because somebody had a cold when they were building this one and they got one wire in the wrong place and he became a kleptomaniac bounty hunter crime lord dude, then he can't. He is this robot. He could probably replace his arms and legs. Mike could even put his brain into a bigger body, maybe. Like, you would attach your head onto like Frankenstein's body and take control, maybe. But I don't know. I like that idea better though, because that gives you limitations. Because otherwise, I would just constantly be saving backups of myself, and if I get killed, download me into a new body. Forlone, there you go. That's it. Eddie Von B coming in clutch. Love you, man. Just for that, I'm going to wish you a very happy new year. I pray your 2026 is 10 times better than the 2025 was. Now,
Amen.
Hopefully your 2025 is better than mine, because I kind of feel like 2025 spent the whole time trying to kick my teeth in it. I don't want 10 times of that. But I'm looking forward to 2026. Imagine.
Same
Okay,
here.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. I like the idea of it having the limitations. If it is the magic of the wiring, then he has that limitation. But then that also makes it amazing, because to me that makes it even more magical. Like, what did you do that made this one this? Like, what is it that gives each one of these robots a different personality? When they were built on an assembly line. I find that very interesting. I like it. And I like to think, if I piddled around long enough with enough wires and circuit chips, I could bring life to something. I certainly can't, but it's fun to imagine. TY says Eddie Von B. Ty, he says. I could use a good year. 2025, whoop my butt, so I'll take it. LOL. Eddie Von B is getting 10 times the butt whoop. Oh man, I hope this year just pours out riches, grace, mercy, and joy on you. I hope you struggle to keep your head above all the awesomeness that comes swamping you in 2026. That's what I hope. Coming in clutch with the forlorn. That's a deep pull. Most people, I Googled trying to find that name, and all I could get is like, robot bounty hunters in Star Wars. Oh, you mean IG-88. Robot bounty hunters other than IG-88. Oh, you mean IG-88. No, I don't. The legend Mandy could hear is Davis the Great White possesses ships himself, slowly controlling the crew through his ghostly webs, turning them against each other. And suddenly, the ship disappears. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Oh! You just reminded me of an idea, and I'm probably not going to be able to find it. I'm going to look for it, though. Man, that reminds me of a character I designed for Green Zone that gave me freaking nightmares. Is Mr. Finders Keepers. And if I can find it. Oh, man.
Alrighty then, and there we go. I like to add a little hologram thing there. just to kind of give it that little techno edge.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm actually really loving the way this guy came out. But I will also say, I do hope for everyone that, in the next year or tomorrow, but I do hope that in 2026 that we will be able to pursue a lot of our endeavors. I know for me, definitely got to start locking in on one book and really stick through it. And not only that, I'm also excited for what the new year has to bring, especially my very first, con that I'm invited to. Again, I'm not sure on the specifics of such things. Again, Mr. Fish is only yet to tell me more of that, but I can't wait to see where this show goes. I'm really hoping the more consistent that we are, hopeful that we'll be able to bring newer fans, still keep the legendary ones that have been here since day one, and again, to roll up amazing characters. Hopefully one day we'll be able to create awesome characters that'll spawn the idea of even creating either a mini one-shot comic, or depending on how awesome these characters or these cool ideas that we get to come up with, one day I will be able to create 3D printed renditions of these characters, have them shipped off to those who have been with us since day one. I'm really hoping, that 2026 brings fantastic stuff. I'm hoping that at least on the Ultra comic side of things, that I'll actually happen to have at least more than one book done. And then also being able to do more with Roll for Hero, even probably do some solo episodes and such. And of course, touching on many other things. Now that is horrific. What am I looking at?
This is the idea that I had, Dragon Gaming, that I was wanting to share. This is Mr. Finders Keepers, and he is an alien that crash landed on the Earth of Green Zone, and his species is essentially like a balloon. Like it's a alien mushy flesh plant thing, but it's full of gas and it floats and it tethers itself with neural fibers someplace, and it usually will tether itself to a being of some kind, and it might hop from being to being, and it lives symbiotically off of the psychic energy that it gets from that being's brain. And usually it's not a terribly bad symbiotic relationship if you can handle having a giant floating plant meat thing floating in the air behind you everywhere you go. That would be kind of hard if you were a prey species trying to hide and you got a big balloon bubbling over your head everywhere you run. But eventually he gets so big that he can't just be attached to homeless people wandering around. So eventually at some point he tethers himself, and then he starts drawing more people in and attaching to them and feeding off of their psychic energy. And he controls them completely like puppets, but they're all bound to him with this neurofiber webbing. So they can go really far. Like they could probably walk 100 yards away from him, but there's this neurofiber webbing stretching back to him. And if you cut it, then, the feed's cut. If they've been there long enough, they can't function without him anymore. But they become way too dependent on him keeping their body running and stuff. But he feeds off of it the more he gathers. And eventually, he gathers a group of homeless people that walk around in a group. And eventually he goes into a warehouse and tethers himself. And then people's parents start disappearing. Like you go to the store for a pack of cigarettes and dad never came back. And the kids start singing these rhymes about Mr. Finders Keepers. And, if your mommy goes out wandering at night, Mr. Finders Keepers is going to get her and he'll take her away and she'll never come back. And he will. If he catches you by yourself, he will get you and he will tie you into the web and you will never leave. And eventually they stumble in accidentally and find all these people tethered in here to this thing. And, I love the idea. I can't wait to tell it.
Eddie Von B says, full of gas and floats looking over your shoulder all the time. You drew my mother-in-law.
Bump, says Uncle Fish. Dragon Gaming says, wow, that's super cool, Fish. You're amazing and sexy. Thank you, Dragon Gaming. Benjamin says, imagine if there's a parasitic species that attaches themselves to other species like Mr. E's character, but mutated them, Resident Evil style. That's a pretty cool idea. See, there's another character I've got that came straight out of the role-playing game I've run my kids through forever. It was the first guy they ever fought. I called him the Purple Man at the time because I didn't have a better name, and they had no idea who Marvel's Purple Man was, so it didn't matter. But his only he has no superpowers himself, but he can mutate other things. And so he can grab anything he wants and touch it and mutate it into a bigger version or a scarier version or make it mix things together. Fun little note in Green Zone issue 2, I think there is a mutated rat bug that has like bug wings and multiple eyes and stuff that steals Virgil's last crackers that he was going to eat. That was mutated by that guy. It doesn't say that anywhere. It doesn't say it anywhere at all, but that rat's mutated because of him. That's just a little bit
that's like bonus feature type stuff
lore in my brain that I was hoping to get to at some point, but may never get to touch on. But it's cool. That's why it's there. It's because that.
I love this so much. This is just a lot of fun, man. We're building it up. So we're already like what, 1/3 of the way in, and now we're entering into the second third.
Oh man, we're about halfway through season 2. Like next episode will be 6. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know too, like it's a really dumb gimmick that I kind of came up with, where it's like we do this entire show in 12 episode increments because of the fact that our show is like 12, like, either characters long, if you will, because we have ROLL, the number 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hero, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, HERO. So 12 whole episodes. It's a perfect rounded amount. It's also the amount of, faces on 2 typical role-playing dice, or 2 of these little dice right over here. It was a perfect gimmick for some reason. I thought it was funny, but I love the idea of it.
His numerology itch. That's what he's saying.
Exactly. But also, it's like 12 episodes is just enough. It's long. It's long enough to be. It's too short to be long. It's too long to be short. So it's in that weird.
I really like the idea of us doing one theme like we did this time. I really like the idea of doing that in 12 episode bites, because it gives us enough time to really delve into a world and really do something with that idea. And then we can move on to something else and come up with a new idea, or go back to an old idea, or do one season just picking people's fan art and redesigning it in our own style, whatever we want to do with it. But I like being able to do it in chunks like that and know this is a cohesive unit that's all about this thing. And I really like that part. If it was a 52 episode season, that would be a lot. That would be a lot of spinning in one world, and we would have so much. We kind of beat a dead horse at that point.
Yeah, so, pretty much. And not only that, also we get to dive into it. But it's like you like it enough to kind of be like, "Whoa, okay, that's pretty cool," and then you get to move on to something else. Like again, we have so many other ideas, and like again, from season 1 of the show, we kind of more or less developed an entire cyberpunk world, kind of a bit of a steampunk world, or not only that, even like heck. Off of episode 1, I came up with when we did the elemental character, I came up with the idea of calling it the Primal Empire. I feel like with the title like that's like Star Wars. Anything can kind of happen in that world. Like imagine the amount of stories that end up happening in the Primal Empire. Like I would love to see diving into worlds like that, or the steampunk universe, the cyberpunk universe, or not only that, but Mr. Fish and I were talking before we got, recording and, having to be on stream right now. It's like talking about the idea of creating like creating an entire list. Both of us would roll like the idea of merging 2 ideas together, like taking good examples like westerns, like samurai cowboys, or robotic, oceanic things or whatever, like a cybernetic pirate world or whatever it is. Like basically merging 2 genres and then making them one whole world, and we get to dive into that for an entire season. Like again, aliens
and fun. And like we were trying to decide what we were going to do, and we talked briefly about like, well, we could both roll and both get like a setting for the world that season, and then let y'all pick over the break before the next season, and then do what we're going to do. But then it hit me, what if we combined it and we both roll something, get random things, and then have to fit that together, and you end up with steampunk dinosaurs, or like hellscape and suburbia mixed together, and what's it like living next door to demons and stuff, like, I mean, we could get any random thing and have to mix that thing together, and futuristic cavemen, and build a world out of whatever random things we came up with. So if you have ideas for settings, for like singular settings, start sounding off in the comments and letting us know, so we can start adding it to a list. And
so then that
then
way, by the time
something to roll on.
So then that way, by the time we reach the end of the season, we'll be able to roll that up. And then that way you guys are already kind of like going in head first, being like, okay, like what are they going to draw in this kind of universe? Like taking Oak Fang, Jupiter Jack, American Eagle, Musk Ox character, that
would be cool. I mean, essentially like the battle nexus from Ninja Turtles. Like, if there was one place that all these different characters got brought to fight to the death, which would be that would be a really cool short, like mini comic to be able to do.
Or like a series of mini comics, and basically we just pin like
and like let people vote on who's going to win. Out of these characters that we rolled up, who's going to win the fight, and then draw that out. And that would be really cool. Y'all need to be sharing this video out to your friends. Y'all need to be inviting people to come watch this, because these are two good ideas to be holding to just ourselves. We need to get this out there so more people can come, have fun, take part, because, man, if we get a handful of people, like say back in Patreon and supporting us and whatnot, like we could be pumping out pages, and posting them there for people to read, sending out copies to, backers of a certain tier. That would be pretty cool, man. That would be pretty cool.
And I mean, the fact that, like, again, I'm just loving the way this is all coming out. Sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought right now. But yeah, hold on. I just wanted to read one that Benjamin over here says. Imagine if there was a world that was just made to take people from another. Okay, that's what you were saying. Oh, hold on. I think it was something a little bit beforehand. Dang. Like medieval fantasy with dinosaurs, but the dinosaurs are called dragons. That's a really cool concept. All right, let me see what else is over here. Oh, yeah, there. Oh, hold on. Let me see. I think there's another one here. Either I'm going crazy or I'm going crazy.
You could be going crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm going crazy. Forget what I was about to say there. But I'm totally for this. And I mean, heck, depending on, again, I'm loving also this entire sci-fi universe we're building up. Like at some point, I would love to do like a simple little one-shot, if ever. I mean, given.
Oh, man, we got so many characters to have a cool bar fight or something, or who knows. There's so many characters to have in the background doing stuff. There's so many people from the comments we could put in the background as different characters running for their life as Jupiter Jack's foot comes stomping down. That would be cool. So that's one of the things I like. That's one of the things I really enjoy about indie comics and doing Kickstarters and stuff, is we get to do special things that you're not going to get to do in giant books like Marvel and DC. Like more than once, we've done bits with a book I worked on where like the giant monster is grabbing up people, and I just draw like generic like yellow bodies in that place. The faceless bodies are like mannequins or something. And then either you could like back at a certain tier and get drawn into the book, or maybe we pick people at random, or maybe we pick people out of first day backers, so it encourages people to back on the first day and then draw them into the book. And that's the kind of stuff that you just don't get from the big guys. Like when I was doing Green Zone issue 4, I had like once the campaign ended, I had like the last 4 pages to draw, I think, of the book. And it was taking place in a hospital, and there was a ruckus going on, and I needed a crowd in the background. And as I started drawing just random, made up characters in the background, I said, wait a minute. wait a minute. So I went back to my Kickstarter and I started going down the backer list in order, and I started picking people that I knew wouldn't mind to get randomly drawn into a book. If I don't know you at all, if it was your first time backing, I'm not going to go like creep on your Facebook page. But if we talk pretty regular and you back all my stuff, like Mr. Midlife Crisis on TikTok, I know he doesn't mind acting a fool on TikTok. He's not going to mind if I take one of those goofy drawings of him making a weird face and have somebody punching him. You know, he got such a kick out of it when he saw the book and he was in it. And I just started sticking people like Brad Arney that was in the comments earlier in the background. Katie that's usually in the comments, I threw her in the background. Kyron Silva, I mean Danny J. Quick from Ace Blade. I threw all my friends in there in the background that had backed the book. And so when they're opening it up and they're getting to the end, they got this surprise. That's something awesome that we only get to do with the freedom we have in indie comics. And that is really freaking cool.
And I actually want to show this off because since you were talking about this, it kind of reminds me of the two dudes that I put into this book right over here. Totally not at all trying to figure out who these guys are.
Totally. Look at that sexy beast. Run, he says, as if he could actually run.
This is actually a book I'm working on called Grub. It's like my rendition of Spider-Man. Basically, it's just like instead of a guy swinging webs through the city, he's digging holes in the dirt down below his own city and whatnot.
He's destroying the foundation of his city, one crime at a time.
Exactly. I'm actually having a blast putting this whole thing together. I just worked on this page over here. But yeah, this is actually the one book that I have had so much fun with that I really want to get. It's again, I feel like for me, I really need to just get something done. And pacing was definitely an interesting thing. Here's some fun, knowledgeable things. Pacing in a book does matter. If you're planning on winning an Eisner, you got to write an Eisner level type of thing. I just want to make fun comics that'll at least get me to an animated cartoon. So I'm not planning on doing anything fancy. So I actually decided to go look at the Amazing Fantasy 15 scans, and I realized how fast everything really was because there was so much dialogue. So again, learning how to pace your stories is one of the most key and essential thing. And it's actually one of the things that have changed, the entire, landscape of comics.
It's changed so much. Like, I mean, it used to be a comic book, a comic strip type thing where it's like you had explaino captions in the top that tell you, how we bounced from one panel to the next and why we're in wildly different locations and what happened in between. And that was fine because it was a mixture of book and, pictures. But now it's like we're really been trying to capture the vibe of a movie for the last couple of decades in comics. Which is awesome. We've done some amazing stuff with pacing and dynamics and page turns and stuff. But it also kind of takes away some of that fun of when last we saw our hero, he was dangling off the side of a volcano. And, and just the fun that you can have with, suddenly they're back in the Batcave and, just
exactly.
all those.
And that's exactly what I wanted to do with this. And that's why I did for kicks and giggles. I was like, let me just try something out here. So I took from my long formatted concept of the Unbeatables, which I was treating it like a cartoon episode where you had to show off almost every scene. And now I decided to go for the whole classic, like using the panel boxes, thinking of it like if Stan Lee was, writing a comic book and whatnot. And I had so much fun just quickly putting these things together. I let some scenes play out a little bit, but then I put the descriptions in there, quickly and efficiently telling you what you need to know. And then eventually we get right into it. This is like page 5 and you're already being introduced to a giant monster. And then, I have and that's fun. My books my goal was that I want to make fun, simple books and hopefully one day get a cartoon out of it. So, I mean, that's more or less my whole thing there. And expect the Grub at some point, especially once we start heading over to Michigan, if I'm incorrect. Is that like a fully confirmed situation there?
Oh, I mean, the con is fully confirmed. I need to check with him again and make sure that I can get you a table there. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Me and TS had a big time there last year. Tulip City Con in Holland, Michigan.
And we're going to do a Roll for Hero live on that one, or no? Sorry.
He was wanting to do a Roll for Hero live there, which would be a lot of fun. I mean, it'll be on Sunday, but we can still stream it,
I
and we
mean,
can have the kids there and everything. I'm working on the mini comic ash can that'll have like lists of prompts and stuff in it that we can give away for free to kids at the show,
oh,
and like little bodies drawn that they can use as a template to draw off of to help draw their character and stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And actually, I'm really looking forward to putting the effort in to make those really nice, because that'll be something fun to be able to use at shows from now on, and to have something to give away to the kids and inspire them to come up with ideas and draw. And that's always a good thing.
would
Let's
be
see.
interesting to see the Grub try to get into the Unbeatables. That would be a ton of fun. Honestly, if again, the Unbeatables is already like in development hell, and I don't want to keep torturing them as it is. And the reason why I wanted to do the Grub was to really kind of fix up my writing style and also my ability to create comics, because I had such that TV show mindset that I forget that I can revert to the book aspect of a comic book. So if I had to go through the situation again, I would make the Unbeatables more of a proper comic book and just have fun, do the simple, like, here's giant robots, here's what they got to do, blah, 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 the whole situation. So I would love to at some point do that, depending on how I even execute this whole Grub situation. And then also, am I going to do a concept corner video on speed dial? I would honestly love to do an entire live session, let alone, like, I don't even think a video would be enough, because there would be so many cool ideas to blurb out and like probably.
Oh man, I had so many ideas just listening to that. Thinking about, like, what if there's a dude with the big brick cell phone? What if there's a dude with a little flip phone, but like to activate powers, he's got to like type it in alphanumeric codes and stuff to get it to work. And somebody with a big rotary on their belt and slam the phone down to activate power.
There is so much to go from that, and I couldn't tell if I wanted to go the common writer route, because speed dial, for like a speed run of how I described it, is like basically Ben 10, but if they took from the original Dial H for Hero, which again, Dial H for Hero was like a little phone dial, and if you put in the letters HERO, you would turn into a hero, and it would just be a random one. So I was like, what if I took that exact concept, but I played into, you know, that Ben 10-esque kind of concept in a weird way? It's like basically you're kind of making like Dial H for Hero, but more Ben 10 like in a way. But then,
which originally it was supposed to be superheroes, but then they switched to aliens, and I think aliens was a better call for that.
Oh, yeah.
It made it stand out more from Dial H for Hero, and made it feel more like its own unique thing.
Oh, for sure. Like, and again, I suckered into it. I had the Omnitrix when I was a kid.
Oh man, I bought one for the kids. I've watched every episode of all the Ben 10. I love it.
Oh my god, wait. And remember the idea of a season of a Roll for Hero making heroes for the speed dial. That would be a lot of fun. Not only that, again, I couldn't tell if I wanted to go the common writer route, where like they happen to have a belt where it looks like where they would like put their phone in, like, you know, for the one that has like a rotary phone, they would, you know, pick up a thing, then slam it down on the belt.
That would be so fun.
Or like for a newer phone where they just charge it and plug it into a little USB drive or something like that. I don't know. There was just a lot of concepts for it. So I couldn't tell if I wanted to go the common writer route, or if I wanted to kind of go like the classic Ben 10 kind of concept, where it's like, it's basically Dial H for Hero, but Ben 10 oriented a little bit. Maybe there might be a hero that turns them into an alien with superpowers. Maybe one that turns them into cheesy comic book superheroes, or one that turns them into something or other. I don't know. There's a lot of concepts there, and I'm going to probably refine it. I'm not against the idea of doing like an entire season of that.
I thought about one with like a fax machine, and they can like make cheap facsimile copies of like whatever you turn into. So you would end up with like these putty versions of whatever you turned into that are all basically cannon fodder, but you can create a lot of them. And that would be really cool. Like, I don't necessarily have any powers myself, but whatever you use, I can turn it back against you in several, you know, low quality copies. That would be a fun challenge for like villain of the week.
But then that would, again, that this entire conversation would then switch to something else. Like, what would we then have to like talk about? Like, would the hero be based on the phone? So like for the rotary phone kind of thing, like, would they have heroes that look like they came straight out of the 1920s for the newer phones? Would they look like?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! You got like the box phone, or you've got like the stick with the the earpiece that you got to pick up, and like your phone doesn't have any powers, but you've got to call into the switchboard for them to send powers to you, and they've got to like click, click, click,
Well,
click,
then
click
does
with
it
the
mean that
actual wire to send you.
So then here's where it gets crazy. Do they call someone to then get powers, or do they, pick up the
Oh,
phone
yeah.
and then they
You got to
transform?
call Alice at the switchboard, and if she's in the bathroom, well, sorry, you're gonna have to wait till she gets back. Or if
Then
she's
there's the phone
eavesdropping on another
operator.
line, you're gonna have to wait. But if she puts a wire in the wrong port, you're gonna get the wrong powers. Like that would be so awesome if she's just in this like cosmic hub, just moving wires around and stuff.
Then there's also maybe another one called the operator, who's living in this weird, interdimensional realm in which only you can come into contact with. And it's, I need help in this situation. Kind of like almost in Dispatch a little bit. Like it's a combination of like, he's like Robert Robertson and he's going to send the right hero to the right cause. So like he'll give you the proper hero transformation that you need. And it's something that you don't really want. It's like, oh, I need to take this situation down. There's this big thing happening. And I know that this big guy's going to handle it.
I think everybody needs their own operator, like a guy in a chair, like somebody that you could call on for help. And like with the smartphone, it might even be like a sentient app in the phone that can think quickly and do things and search the internet and stuff. But other people's operators, get way more old school and are a lot less helpful the further you go back. Like, that would be really cool.
That would be awesome. We also got a few comments here. So imagine if the Speed Owl has a transformation that is an alien. That would be interesting. Also, Dadpool says he needs help with a name for his fantasy bear/spider bounty hunter. I don't know why I thought of arachnid and grizzly, like grizzly achnid, or the grizzly web.
Trap door spiders, jumping spiders, black widows.
There's also tarantulas,
brown recluse,
tarantula
brown bear recluse.
But imagine different Speed Owl users being able to transform into different heroes or villains. I feel like there would also have to be a different set of like, you would have the hero phones and then you would have the villain ones.
Oh yeah.
So then like that would be something interesting. Oh man,
the
I love
villains
that.
are all like on Cricket or something with bad reception. Man. See that's how I got the name for reindeer games, is I just started playing around thinking like what goes with reindeer, what could I make that would work. So I like thinking around bears and dens and claws and fangs, and they both have fangs.
Fang trap, like trapdoors, spider.
Fang widow. Man, the fanged recluse. It feels like something with brown recluse and brown bear would, but bear recluse and recluse bear doesn't work.
I think grizzly would be fun.
What is Ursa? Ursa minor, Ursa major, Ursa for the bear. Ursa arachnid. Ursa.
Other than that, let me read this one right over here. My Power Ranger idea, Nitro Knights, the Nitro Knight Rangers on motorcycles that resemble horses with colors like red, blue, green, pink, yellow, silver, bronze, copper, black, and white sharing the same morpher. Dang. Oh, don't it? Listen, if we're talking Power Rangers, you probably already saw this. Thanks for the horse idea, Uncle Lee. Hey, no problem. Especially if you're talking about like, knights and whatnot. Was it the Nitro Knights? Because I have the Nebula Knights. I came up with so many Power Ranger concepts. Actually, here's
man, if you had like, if they were like robot horses, they could like transform it down.
I think that's what I talked about last time. It was like horses, but Voltron style, like they're morphers or they're
they're super fast as motorcycles and then bust off into a horse form would be really cool. and
Oh
those
yeah.
wheels would work well with like those joints on the horse. That could be really cool.
Yeah, speaking of like Power Ranger concepts, here's the first one that I've ever came up with, which was the Super Saiyans, because I still plan on at least making this a thing at some point. I just wanted to switch up the title, and I actually made I kind of updated this title a little bit. So this is like the newer, wording of it. And then you have the Super Saiyans, which is down here, like looking a little bit more cleaned up. And then I have, the one where it looks a little bit more spread out, how I originally had it. This was like the OG way that I had this. So that's like all the Super Saiyans ideas. Then I have Nebula Knights, which is Space Knights and whatnot, have their suits designs and everything. This one I have yet to properly design for, because this was a ton of fun, name wise. Because Snack Attack, how else am I going to design those Rangers? I have the Ranger suits already kind of there. I just need to figure out how the helmets work. Then we have Hyper Hive, which is an entire series of like bug adjacent Rangers. And again, it's really hard coming up with your own Power Rangers, because the thing is, Super Sentai
They've done so much.
They took every theme. Like they'll
Yeah.
even reuse animal themes on it, because there's like 5 different Lion Rangers for all I know. Tons of Bird Rangers, T-Rexes and dinosaurs, everything. So like doing bugs isn't too far off from a fun reality there. Then there's Dream Protectors, which is like, Power Rangers that take on the ideas of saving the world of dreams against the nightmares and the boogeyman or whatever.
That would be like very cool, very like Danny Phantom-ish.
Oh,
If there was like this dream realm with living nightmares and stuff that they're fighting before those nightmares can pollute the dreams of like kids and poison the real world. They, have to fight them in there, and there's this evil Lord Nightmare McBad
Oh, yeah.
Duty.
And then we have, the Ultra Squad Tempest Force, basically,
You just like making titles. You like making cool titles.
These were a ton of fun titles to make. And then we have Primal Fury, the one where it's more like animalistic themed and whatnot. Star Frontier, a space western concept.
Okay, hold on. Go back. Primal Fury, go back. Okay. In Primal Fury, they have to like Hulk out like Primal Rage style.
Oh,
They have to,
100%.
like, Hulk out into the animal forms, but like always have to be in that verge of trying to maintain control of this power form without losing it, and without losing absolute control of yourself and going on a full-on Hulk rage. Like surfing that wave of right in the middle of, I'm angry enough to let this out, but I'm still in control and can aim it and not let it get so out of control that it just bursts into a kaiju monster and starts destroying the world itself. And that I'm sold.
Yeah, you can see why I love this so much. And then we have Star Frontier with the space western concept. I haven't even done dinosaurs yet, and I was going to make another one. I haven't fully done this one yet. I called it the Jurassic Rage, where it's like dinosaur themed, dinosaurs and whatnot. And then this one, I was just fixing the title for it, but that's not where that goes. There we go.
Hydro Force.
Wait, did I put an R there? Okay, no.
Yeah, you had it in the wrong place on the little one before you open
Okay.
it up.
The Ultra Squad Hydro Force, like sharks, aquatic themed kind of concept. Again, I've never seen a lot
I was thinking, like, how far can you go with water? But okay, I get it now. I get what you're doing.
Yeah, so it's like, so this again, a lot of fun concept. I love making the titles. It's just really fun. Well, hold on, let me see. We got a few other comments here. Imagine if the Grub and Adventure Turtles were in the same universe. I love that idea. Several Dino Rangers, you're not wrong there. Was thinking my Red Ranger gets his super armor transformation as like
cool.
bismuth colors.
Bismuth colors. Yeah, it's those crystals that grow real fast, and yeah.
Oh shoot, that's like trippy right there.
Oh yeah, that's crazy looking. And then Eddie Von B says, "Don't make me hungry. You wouldn't like me when I'm hungry."
Oh yeah, and then of course
I don't like that.
I wouldn't like that.
I'm just playing, Eddie Von B. You're one of my favorites because you saved the day with good ideas.
This do be true. And here's actually some fun ideas too. So this is the Super Saint Red Ranger. Oh wait, that's not those aren't it's the right one, but also different. So this is like how I designed the Super Saint Rangers. you know, have like that kind of cross motif on their helmet. I actually like the distribution of red and white. Same thing with the blue, and that more or less applies to all the other colors and whatnot. Same pattern, just different colors, like every Power Ranger series does. Then this is the old rendition of those suits. I have no idea what to do for this one. I'm thinking about doing another one called like Mythic Racers. I have way too many ideas for these things. Imagine Ultra Squad being based on Arctic. Ooh. Okay, that's not a good idea. I'm having way too many fun ideas here, and the more you're adding onto it, the more I'm going to neglect actually making comics. Cool it, brother. Cool it. But also, here's the Nebula Knights. This one was a lot of fun, having to design the suits, because I really looked at a lot of different Sentai suits for this. So this one was really interesting because it has a more black base to it, and the colors just happens to be more of like the boots, the gloves, and all that stuff. So this is the Red Ranger, the Blue Ranger. This is the first time I tried experimenting with different shapes on the helmets. So then that way I get to have more fun with it. The yellow one really came out a lot, like was my favorite design by far. The green was a good one. And of course you got to have a Pink Ranger. You got to have your Pink Rangers there. This could be for Tempest Force, maybe for something else, but we have like the Red Ranger design over here, the Blue Ranger design being based on water, yellow for electric, black for earth. And then I decided I should have done probably white for this one. But again, I mean, again, it's technicalities. And this is supposed to be for the Snack Attack Rangers, because I was trying to base it off of like chefs' uniforms to an extent, with the little buttons kind of going down and whatnot.
See, I was wanting to see you turn like snack foods into Rangers,
But then it's like, because
like
again,
the Brownie Ranger and the Pizza Ranger.
You see, those would be interesting. But then the idea, because then it's like, how far? Because again, in Power Ranger fashion, the suits tend to have a bit of a unifying factor. Like the body suits would be the same. The helmets would be the big differing factor. I wouldn't really know what to do with the head being like helmet wise. This is one thing I'm trying to figure out.
See, I think you need to take it goofy and then be really serious with it. Like, I think you need to have like sentient talking brownies and beef jerky sticks, and like all these things look wildly different. And like, and then there's like the junk food that's the bad guys, like the Snickers bars and all that stuff. And then you need to come up with unifying costumes that would fit over a brownie and a slice of pizza and whatnot. Okay. But like, take it super seriously. Like they're desperately fighting for, survival and whatnot, but it's absolutely goofy. And I think that would be a lot of fun.
This is just another fun generic suit design over here. This is one that I was testing out, trying to go asymmetrical because a lot of them were even. And then this one I actually liked because of the asymmetry and the lightning effect. But that's just, I actually like this. I wouldn't know what to do with this one yet. But again, I'm just coming up with a lot of these random ideas and whatnot. So it says the idea of White and Black Ranger have the same morpher. That's because their nitro canisters both have the number 10 because they are the only double-digit canister. So 10, number 11, Ranger. Okay. Imagine if there is a team of villains for the Super Saiyans being based off of like based off the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Okay, that's interesting. I really wouldn't know how to do that. I mean, that's not a bad idea. My typical idea would have been to do the 7 Deadly Sins as like the 7 generals and whatnot. That's a pretty cool one. You can make the Pink Ranger into a white with pink accents, kind of like how they did in Wild Force. You're not wrong there. Rabid Squad. What happens if the squad gets caught in some kind of virus or space anomaly that they don't know they have until they change their rabid? Oh, and like rabid and other crazy. Oh, okay. But I feel like that would be part of either Primal Fury, or that would be like maybe something that would happen in Primal Fury. Who knows? And again, if I was going to do anything like that,
okay,
I would want to do something more on the fun.
Now I can zoom in on Deadpool's drawing. This is the one he's trying to get a name for. He's thinking, what do you say, Grizzly Trap maybe right now, something like that, which I think has potential. I don't know if it's dead on yet.
Hold on.
But
I feel like we're trying to go too crazy with the name. I feel like you got to go simple. Bear Trap.
Oh my freaking God. That is absolutely 100% it. That is Uncle E for the gold medal, ending the year with a bang. That has got to be one of the best names, second only to Deceptile, that we have heard all freaking year. Bear Trap is freaking amazing.
Again, you gotta go
Oh my
to
God,
basics.
I don't know how I missed
You
it.
gotta go back to basics because the problem is like thing is like, wait, trapper, spider, bear, and then for some reason it clicked with bear trap, and I'm like, that's a perfect name for this thing.
Yeah, it is absolutely great.
It even has
Eddie
that.
Von B says, Rabbit Squad. What happens if the squad got caught in some kind of virus or space anomaly that they don't know that they have until they change? And when they change, they're rabid and crazy and can't be stopped. I love it. Deadpool reiterated Bear Trap like he just came up with it.
Exactly. But it's sometimes you got to go back to basics and simplistic things. You know, it's like it was there. It was there the whole time. You knew it was there. You just wanted us to know if it was there. You know,
he was going to find it eventually. Somebody had to step in it, but bumps.
Exactly. But if anyone,
okay, I like it, says Deadpool.
Maybe don't always go with the T-Rex as the Red Ranger. Not a bad idea. If anything, I think Cosmic Fury, or not Cosmic Fury, it was Dino.
I want the Pink Ranger to be a T-Rex.
I think that's what it was.
That's what I want.
I think that's what happened.
Was there?
In Dino Charge, if I'm incorrect, I'm wrong, but I think in Dino Charge, it was the Pink Ranger being a T-Rex. I could be wrong.
Is it correct? I'm wrong.
If I'm right, then I'm right. If I'm wrong,
if I'm
wrong. I am a man who can admit when I am wrong. That takes a lot. Okay, I like it. See? Bear Trap. It works. It's simple, it's effective, and imagine like someone's saying like, oh no, it's Bear Trap, and he's coming right at you. Like,
oh man, that's a toy. That's an action figure with like a pullback feature. Like he's got a button on his butt that you can pull back and those legs like tension up and he pops forward and his claws shut.
Exactly.
And, grabs your little 6-inch plastic character. Like absolutely, that is a toy right there. That Bear Trap is. When I do my own version of the He-Man, I'm making Bear Trap character, and it's going to be just like this.
You know, it reminds me.
It's going to jump out and get you.
Seeing Bear Trap reminded me of that Batimals idea that I shot at you like a while back, especially because and then I thought of like if there's another idea for it, it would be like Batimals, the hybrids or whatever, and it's like you get.
Oh man, if we took that idea and we made them all hybrids to start with, and they're like eagle gorillas or whatever in this one, and they're I don't know, lion somethings. What would you mix with a lion?
Wow.
I don't know, but if they were all like different animal hybrids and stuff, that would be really cool. That would make it really cool and make it stand out from other animal themed
cartoons,
anamorphic things that are out there.
That could be a whole season on Roll for Hero. The Batimals universe, getting to see
that's
like you roll one animal,
go.
I roll one animal. We try to figure out how those two work. We let the chat vote which one's the superior variation. And then from there, that becomes like a definitive character. I'll find some weird.
We roll up a couple of animals that we've got to mix together, and then like some wild fighting style or something, like some type of warrior, like a modern military guy or a samurai or a Roman soldier, and you got to mix that together and or a magic user or whatever. That's absolutely probably season 3, I bet.
Oh,
that's
for sure. Okay, at that point, I think no point.
We need to have enough followers at that point that it makes sense to do a comic book to send out at the end of it, because we're going to have way too many good ideas that we need to put into a comic book. So I'm telling all y'all to get out there. I'm asking you Deadpools and you Benjamin Neals and you Dragon Gamings and so on and so forth to share this out with your friends. Even Eddie Von B, if you see one, get them to share. Webpaw is a good name. Honeyweb. Ooh.
See, Honeyweb is actually his partner. Bear Trap has a partner named Honeyweb.
That's the sexy femme fatale with the big abdomen. Yeah, buddy. That's Honeyweb. Lion Crab Samurai. Okay, see? See, I smell what you're stepping in, Dadpool. We're going to make this happen, but y'all got to get out there and share to your friends.
Share the show.
Put the
Roll for
hashtag
Hero.
Roll for
It's
Hero
going
on
to dominate
pictures.
2026 and onward. Guys, here's the goal. Listen. Okay, should we? Okay, I'm going to probably regret it if I ever made like if we get this type of channel to having an X amount of viewers or whatever, and then we'll actually have to do something about it. You know what I mean? Like if say we manage to get a solid 500 viewers and, try to get them all chatting up into this entire thing, we'll manage to at least get one book out or of whatever universe we're in, whether it's the steampunk, the cyberpunk, this entire sci-fi universe, or, letting them dictate what we're going to do for season 3. Who knows? Guys, Roll for Hero has to dominate 2026. When the new year begins,
absolutely.
Roll for Hero has to be on par with, it has to be common knowledge. I want some random high schooler out there to be like, guys, it's Wednesday. Roll for Hero's on. The 2 weird uncles are drawing again. I want that to be a thing in 2026. I need this to happen. I want people to be like, I'm excited for Wednesday. I can't wait for it to be Wednesday. Why? I get to roll up a funny, weird character and talk to 2 weird uncles about it. Imagine making a hero who can call forth the animal spirits, like they do in Power Rangers Jungle Fury. It's like Tarzan, but crazier.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy the Legs. Oh, yeah. Teddy the Legs.
Oh, okay. See, now that is the gangster that, is probably sending him out on missions. Teddy the Legs, he's the guy. He's a little bit higher up the command role. Roll for Hero must be like Dominus, must be Lord over everything, says Dragon.
Exactly.
Game.
We need this. I'm excited for next year. I can't wait to see.
I want to make mini comics of this, and I want to send it out to people. The problem is, it's just not cost effective to do that for 5 guys that we love dearly, because I still have to pay the rent, and I need to spend that time drawing comics so I can pay the rent. But if we could get the channel to where it could make, a couple of bucks, I could afford to spend a little more time drawing this, and it wouldn't take long to put a comic book out and send it.
There was one thing that my cousin mentioned. So my little cousin ended up watching one of the episodes, and he had the, very unique idea of depending on how we execute the show later down the road, people from the chat could pitch in a couple bucks, and then depending on how much money they put in, that could affect how we draw a particular character or something of that caliber.
Oh yeah, I would love to have the Patreon where we have votes and stuff of. See, that's what I think would be so fun if we could do this together with the chat and us, and we come up with the characters on the show. Y'all help us come up with awesome stuff. We talk out ideas, but then when it really comes down to writing it, maybe we're doing a live stream just at the Patreon, on Friday or something as we're drawing on pages, and be like, okay, we're going to do a poll on who's going to win this fight. Does the bad guy come out victorious or does the good guy come out victorious? And let them vote and let it happen and make the story together would be so much fun.
And then we get T to come into this as we strap him down into a chair, be like, you're going to write this for us now, 100%. If he wants to.
Dragon Gaming says, I hope everyone here has a happy new year.
And a happy new year to you, Dragon Gaming.
Thank you, Dragon Gaming.
Without you, Dragon Gaming, I would not have created this hysterical concept of a shopkeeper. And I'm here for it. I love the fact that the channel come in clutch and just help me out with this funny design for a character. I love the fact that we've accumulated an amazing group of awesome people out there that want to create art by just using plastic pieces over here and letting them dictate what on God's green earth they're going to be drawing. I am excited for 2026. I hope Roll for Hero gets to the point where, again, as I mentioned, that a high schooler out there is like, guys, it's Wednesday. You know what day it is. I can't wait for the day where we get to just have that moment. I can't wait for the day that Roll for Hero becomes big enough to where.
Well, see, and that's the thing. You are so excited every Wednesday, like a kid at Christmas, that this is fixing to go on. And I may not look it when I get backstage because I'm old and I'm tired and my body don't work right no more. But I'm excited like a fat kid hearing the ice cream. And Dadpool's saying the same thing. That's how excited I feel every Wednesday. I get so excited. That is the reason I want to share this out to more people, because this is so much freaking fun. and we come up with so many creative ideas, and you guys are coming up with awesome stuff, and we're coming up with awesome stuff. And I never would have made this tiny little fat robot koala bounty hunter hitman if it hadn't have been for this random role and us having fun together. Like, I want more people to get to enjoy this, not just because I want to be famous, because frankly, I'd be happy never going on the internet again. But I want to get to share this with more friends like y'all. And this is the best time of my week. I love it. I love you guys. Thank you for making 2025 amazing. I cannot wait to see where we go in 2026. You guys rock. Dadpool says, I'd love to see y'all two characters interacting. I appreciate that. That would be awesome. And Benjamin says, I imagine an Ultra Squad team has only has small girls, but one Ranger is a man. That would be funny to have the one standout character be a dude. He would have to be the one with the skirt. Like, he would have to have like that little like Star Trek like unisex skirt thing on, and he'd have to be the Pink Ranger, and everybody else is, you know, cool badass colors.
Oh, for sure. Cool. And not only that, listen, I say it once, I say it again. I love Wednesdays. It just happened one day because I was just like, you know what? I actually wanted to think this was just a one-off gimmick that I thought I was going to do like solo, you know, and I have done like solo Roll for Hero. I think I only did one solo Roll for Hero episode, which kind of kickstarted this entire thing. And I am so happy about the fact that this has blown up to where I like to believe it's blown up to where it's at today. And the fact that we managed to make this a very consistent show throughout 2025, I think it was like halfway into this year. I love this show a lot. You guys are amazing, coming up with amazing ideas, coming up with awesome stuff.
He can wear a kilt. Absolutely.
We love kilt.
But yeah.
But guys, I
mean, this makes it so much fun.
And not only that,
and like I did basically this same show for 2 years on my own, twice a week for a long time with School of Fish, and I just rolled up random stuff with like 3 people in the comments, and we just hung out every Tuesday and Thursday and did this. But it's been so much more fun doing this with you and doing this with you guys, particularly because y'all bring in so much extra cool ideas and energy. And we struck it really lucky to have like 16 dudes that show up. Not all dudes, but dudes that show up every week, hanging out, ready to have fun, that have good ideas. Because frankly, we could have got some duds, but we got some awesome people in the comments having awesome ideas and drawing awesome characters.
They took the duds and turned them into golden dust over here, because these are some spectacular ideas. Again, without the chat, I would have not done this. I would have probably stuck with the first original idea, and it would not have been my favorite thing in the world. But you know what? The fact that the chat was able to interact, the fact that we got amazing people here coming up with amazing suggestions. I can't wait for the day that we're going to create Roll for Hero source books.
Really made it sing. That really brought it to life.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful.
And it's like, I can't wait for the day that we get to create Roll for Hero source books, you know, books in which we get to have like the sci-fi edition, the steampunk edition, you know, then we get to have the classic superhero edition of all these amazing and awesome, you know, prompts and concepts, and y'all just rolling it up and coming up with some of the most intensively crazy, awesome things. I cannot wait for the day that Roll for Hero becomes that level of successful, not to where we're going to be rich and famous, but just enough to where I could probably pay my bills and rents because, you know, hey, I'm in that position as of this moment, but also get to have fun, create an amazing community. And hopefully this is a community that builds another community. I want this to be the community that continues to grow beyond my years. I like to the point where I don't even know. For all I know, there could be someone in Japan right now, or someone over in the Netherlands, and someone in Australia just looking at 2 weird uncles drawing some weird fun characters and having a ball. And I hope that Roll for Hero, I hope that art channels in general get to create art that inspires all of you guys out there, to create art that is just as inspiring, to inspire more people out there. I can't even English correctly. This is how passionate I am right now about this show, about our channels, and about our endeavors, and the fact that art can do so much, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a great year. Thank you guys for coming along. Thank y'all for helping make this what it is. It was a wild experiment to start out on, and it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for coming along with me. Thank you for all of your help on this. I couldn't have done it without you, man.
Of course.
I appreciate you greatly. but it is nearly 3 hours, and I've got other stuff I got to get done too. So we're going to have to get going. You want to see us out for the last time on 2025?
So to cap off on the 2025 experience, it's now over. So to my fellow nieces, nephews, and those that are all out there, make sure to follow these 3 simple rules going into 2026. Make sure to stay awesome. Make sure to stay weird. And always keep life to the easiest. And remember, as I stated before, art inspires all, but you can inspire more. Until then, everyone, we'll see you all in 2026 rolling up on a fun character. Stay ultra, everyone.
Roll for hero.
You know, and even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. You know, the possibility of that happening is again like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like it shows that there's an infinite
There's
possibility.
always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no end to the